Get right. You 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 already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dealatofficial. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode, and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat. Get you something to drink. Get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title. Yeah, what? No. Let's get into this here.
Breaking news tonight, a Collin County jury has just sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf at a Frisco track meet. More reaction from the trial and the emotional victim impact statements.
This verdict sends a clear message. Violence like this won't be tolerated in our Collin County community, and we remain committed to protecting our schools and standing with victims and their families.
Strong emotions outside the courtroom all day long as the verdict came down and the sentencing happened. What our crew saw and heard today in McKinney.
Here for you, the news leader, Fox 4.
A Collin County jury sentences Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet in Frisco. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. This sentencing came just hours after the jury handed down a guilty verdict for murder. The trial began last week, and jurors heard from coaches and high school students who witnessed Metcalf's death. The story also made international headlines, and many people locally have been sharing passionate opinions. Tonight, supporters of both Anthony and Metcalf gathered outside the courthouse, sometimes even yelling at each other. Our crew saw one person appear to be taken into custody earlier this evening before the sentencing came down. And moments ago, prosecutors spoke to the media with the Metcalf family by their side.
Today, justice was served. A year ago, when this senseless murder unfolded, I said that it had struck a deep nerve in Collin County and far beyond. I asked our community to ignore all the noise and instead be level-headed and patient as the process worked. And today, the process delivered accountability. We're grateful to this jury, and we're grateful that the good citizens of Collin County had an opportunity to weigh in on this case. I'm proud of the exceptional work of Bill Werski and our team of prosecutors, DA investigators, and victim advocates, and all the good and outstanding men and women of the Collin County District Attorney's Office. We thank all the parents and their brave kids who did the right thing. Despite the trauma of witnessing the senseless murder at a school track meet, they cooperated fully and testified truthfully. Their courage was essential to securing justice in this case. I'm especially honored to be joined here today by Jeff and Megan Metcalf and their son Hunter. Their strength and grace through this has been their strength and grace throughout this unimaginable journey has been inspiring. They won't be taking questions at this time, but their presence here speaks volumes about their commitment to seeking justice for Austin. I want to thank Judge Rhodes for presiding over this trial with fairness and efficiency. I want to thank Frisco PD for their investigation. I want to thank the Collin County Sheriff's Office led by Sheriff Skinner for providing the security for the courthouse. I want to thank all law enforcement throughout the county for making this a safe trial for everyone. This verdict sends a clear message. Violence like this won't be tolerated in our Collin County community, and we remain committed to protecting our schools and standing with victims and their families.
That's Collin County District Attorney we just heard from. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has been outside the courthouse all afternoon and evening, sometimes tense, sometimes quiet. Amelia, what have you been seeing overall? Hi there, Steve. Well, let's start with when the jury actually got the case. So the jury started deliberations at 10:52 this morning and deliberated through lunch, returning a verdict just before 2 p.m. The jury spent a total of 3 hours deliberating and returned the verdict guilty of murder. I was outside the courthouse when that verdict was returned. You could hear some gas from the large crowd that had gathered outside, some outcries, and some people simply stayed silent, just processing the information. The jury then headed right into the punishment phase of the trial. They heard from 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony's mom. She was the only one who took the stand in the punishment phase, and she pleaded with the jury for mercy. The jury spent a total of 2 hours and 20 minutes deliberating the sentence. The jury sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison with the eligibility for parole after half the time served, which would be about 17 and a half years, the age of Austin Metcalf when he was killed. When the sentence came down, people swarmed in large groups, many live streaming reactions of others on their cell phones. Some were very upset, visibly crying and talking about it. Others told me they believe justice was served with that sentence. After the victim impact statements, Karmelo Anthony's family, including his parents, walked out of the courtroom and into their cars. A large group of people and media swarming them as they made their way to their vehicles. There were some very strong words of emotions exchanged. We saw Anthony's mom hold up a heart in the window as well. Then, just about 15 minutes ago, we saw the Metcalf family leave the courthouse. Emotions still running high from those who were here in the parking lot. Sheriff deputies helped them to their car. Now it's just media that's left as the Collin County Sheriff's Office is working to clear the parking lot. And again, media was allowed to stay here. A lot to digest as this very long day wraps up. For now, though, Steve, I will send it back to you.
That's Amelia Jones reporting from McKinney. Amelia, thank you. So Fox 4's Lori Brown has been our only reporter inside the courtroom all day for the dramatic moments. She heard the emotional victim impact statements. Lori, we're counting on you to tell us how all of that was for you today and tonight.
Steve, the emotion of this full trial really finally was able to be released in the victim impact statements as 4 of Austin Metcalf's family members finally released from a gag order, finally able to express themselves. The impact statements happen after the jury's verdict, after the defendant is formally sentenced. So these statements are really just a chance for the victims to face the defendant and be able to let all of these things out. So the mom, Megan Metcalf, gave a very emotional but strong statement as she faced Karmelo Anthony, telling him how she used to have a house filled with energetic 2 boys full of laughter, and now her house is quiet and the laughter has been turned to screams. And all she has of her son Austin's voice is her memory and videos of him speaking, and how emotional it is seeing his identical twin brother in his room every day. And she talked about the morning that she had given them breakfast and packed their snacks, and she got the big bear hug from Austin. Certainly emotional moments in that courtroom as she told these things. And she made this statement: "You've been given a sentence of 35 years. You should feel lucky. I have been sentenced to a lifetime without my son." Next to take the stand was Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff. He had a video up playing photos of his son, Austin, over the years, many of them with his brother who was there in the courtroom also. And he talks about their faith helping them to get through this, but also he came to a shout telling Karmelo Anthony, "We were robbed, and to suffer such a loss is tragic," and how this whole ordeal has just taken a part of himself, and he is not the same person anymore. And he said that his son's death didn't just change who he is, but it destroyed the person who he used to be. And then it was very impactful as Hunter took the stand. We did not hear from him during the trial, as many were expecting. And he took a very respectful tone. The father of the father of Austin Metcalf had really pointed out that he wanted Karmelo Anthony to look him in the eyes, and Hunter did the same thing, asking in a polite way that he would really appreciate it if he would look at him as he had his statements for him. And he said that you still have air while my brother is 6 feet under. But he went on to say that his brother's legacy will continue to live on. The family later appeared in that news conference that we showed you, but they chose not to take any questions tonight. Stephen, Heather.
Understood, Lloyd Brown. Out of McKinney at the county courthouse. Thank you. Sean Rabb has been following a lot of this trial too. We're going to check in with him now for more. He's in our digital studio, spent most of the evening in there. Talk about what's next and you know, the verdict and the years and how he could get out in half those years and all the things that facing both these families tonight, I guess, Sean.
Yeah, there's a whole lot. You know, we got in the studio here, I don't know, a little after 1, I guess. And so we've been here in the digital studio since before 2 o'clock today as this has played out and come to its conclusion. And there's a lot of emotions riding, as you can tell. People get engaged in this trial, Steve, and they don't want to disengage. Our Lori Brown didn't want to come out of the courtroom. Mm-hmm. You know, managers were trying to get her to be replaced this afternoon. She wanted to stay and see it through. We saw that from hundreds of people in the parking lot. People were coming to the parking lot of the Collin County courthouse. They couldn't get into the courthouse. Well, even going over the weeks of this trial, since last week, 1 a.m, people are driving up, waiting to try to get in for, 4 handfuls of seats that are available to the public. That's the kind of trial this has been, drawing people in. So what happens now? Well, first of all, Karmelo Anthony now goes into the Collin County Jail. There'll be a new mugshot of him, bookend photo tomorrow from the Collin County Sheriff's Department. He will be transferred to the Texas Department of Corrections, the prison system in Texas. He'll go to Huntsville for intake, and then he can be moved to any place in the state. He could stay in Huntsville, could be moved west, could be moved hundreds of miles from Dallas-Fort Worth. We won't know that until he is there, because the pickup and transfer is always secret, as you might imagine. Many bad actors, not talking about Anthony, but many bad actors would possibly attempt to have somebody, if you would, sabotage that trip and pull them out of those buses. So he won't be traveling by himself unless Collin County Sheriff's deputies take him. He'll be on the chain. They bring a bus from Huntsville. They'll make several stops along the way, and then they'll return down I-45 to Huntsville for his intake, and he'll be then sent to a prison farm to begin serving his sentence. While that's happening, his lawyers will begin the appeals process. Now, the court lawyers for the case itself, Mike Howard, Toby Shook, they may bring in someone else for the appellate process or file some of those themselves. Now, remember, there was the concern about no black jurors. The 3 who were qualified were summarily struck by the state. And tonight we're hearing from the Collin County NAACP saying it's an outrageous rendering tonight. The punishment is outrageous. They are upset that there are no black jurors on this high-profile trial. They say certainly a life was taken and justice had to be handed out. They don't feel it deserved to be this. And so they're, again, pointing to the lack of representation, people of color, African Americans on that jury. That's going to be a theme that we're going to hear going forward. As for the family of Austin Metcalf, well, they have to try to continue with their lives. And that's not going to be easy. We heard their pain tonight. We've heard their pain from the day 1 in April of 2025. And we heard that pain again tonight. It is a searing pain that no parent should have to experience. No sibling should have to experience their twin taking their last breath in their arms. How do you get past that emotionally? How do you stop and begin again? And then that's the challenge for this family, to try to keep their lives together and move forward as well. And so too for the Anthony family. Many people have said there are no winners tonight, but this is justice. Sometimes maybe justice doesn't produce a winner, but it produces justice, and that is that someone held accountable for their actions, whether all agree with how that is handed down or not. That's where we are right now.
All right, Sean, thank you. So there's been a lot of emotional reaction to the verdict. Dion Anglin is in McKinney. We moved back up there to the courthouse. She's outside. Dion?
Heather, Steve, that's right. From daylight to darkness, the presence of supporters on both sides of this case have been here and remained until they were physically no longer able to. An order from the judge came less than an hour ago. The parking lot is closed as of 9 p.m. We have seen that taking place. Now, through it all, the tension, the emotions have been all over the map through the guilty of murder verdict for Karmelo Anthony, the time spent waiting for a sentence to be announced. And then the moment it arrived, we have seen several clashes, one person arrested, another detained. It has been a definite mix of emotional expression. One teenager whose life is lost, another going away for at least 30 years. A couple of people I spoke to put it in perspective from their own point of view.
I have kids myself, so seeing lives being lost as far as children-wise is a sad case all around. Everybody's angry. Everybody's upset. You know, we just lost 2 kids. I mean, you know, what more could we expect out of them? But I just feel like we got to heal. We all got to heal together.
We got to save our country. This is a beautiful state. Justice was served. And we got to move on. And we, you know, I feel sympathy for the families. It's sad, but, you know, it's time to move on.
You know, we talked to folks who shared expressions very similar to that many times over. Those 2 folks, they said they were close by. They live in the area, work in the area, but they just felt drawn to come here to see for themselves this reaction and this presence by the support on both sides of this case. Now we have probably a dozen patrol cars with lights circling the parking lot, basically making sure that everyone is leaving. We asked if that applied to us, and it was not immediately clear. One person we spoke to said they think we can stay a bit longer. Another said, no, it applies to us. We have to get out of the parking lot as well. So that remains to be seen. But for now, that's the very latest here. Back to you all.
Okay, Dion, we'll let you get moving. If they need you out of there, that sounds good enough for us. Thank you. All right, we've got the latest mugshot. Carmelo Anthony now checked in at the Collin County Jail. That'll be his temporary stop until he goes into the Texas State Prison System. And new mugshot tonight out of Collin County. We have more on today's verdict and sentencing, plus reaction from people who were inside the courtroom on our website, fox4news.com, and on the Fox Local app.
Hit that like button, double tap
and
that
you
screen.
simply have to follow the.
Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You know you ain't heard your boy Dilla T. This is No Filters. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Become a member today. We're trying to save your life. Let me tell you what's going on right here. As you see right now, the jury found Karmelo Anthony guilty. Hold up. We got to get right, though, because it's so much to unpack right here, fam. So much to unpack. The stories, the details, footage that was never released, like all footage is released. Even down to the jury selection. I mean, what we doing here, man? Like, I really don't understand, you know, if something is done a certain way, period, point blank, black and white, why you can't show the footage? If something is done, period, point blank, black and white, why isn't the jury of your peers? We got to talk about it, man. Because something about this right here, to me, wasn't done correctly. Something about this, to me, wasn't done in the right law-abiding citizen fashion that things should be done in. To me, something about this just really says corruption. Press 1 if you believe this was corruption behind this verdict. Press 2 if you believe that it wasn't corruption behind this verdict. I want to know right now. I want to know right now. Press 1 if you believe the man was guilty. Press 2 if you don't believe he was guilty. I want to know right now. I want to know what you know right now. I got to know right now. I got to know right now. Because there's too much going on around this for facts to not be understood about how this was even put out there. I got to know what you think right now. Press 1 if you believe. Press 2 if you don't. Because something about this ain't really making no sense. Hit that like button, then we'll tap that screen. Let's get into it right now. We gotta put facts where they lead. We gotta put facts where they supposed to be. We gotta put facts where they go. We gotta know what we're talking about.
About this Karmelo Anthony situation. How you feel about that?
Karmelo Anthony. You know, Art, if you go back and take a look at the slave codes in all of the original 13 colonies, and if you look at the slave codes in any of the slave states of America, you will find that Black men or women never had a right to defend themselves against a white assailant. You could not fight back against your slave master, nor could you fight back against any white person for any reason. If they raped you, you couldn't fight back. If they hit you, you couldn't fight back. If they steal from you, you couldn't fight back. If they tried to sell your child away illegally, you couldn't fight back. So we need to understand something. White America, going back to the plantation, white America has always felt, Art, that they have absolute jurisdiction over the Black body. This goes back to slavery when they owned us. They owned us. Old habits die hard. And since you have a legacy in this country, a custom and a culture where Black people don't even have the right to protect their own body, you get this situation that we are dealing with now with our 17-year-old brother down in Frisco, Texas, Karmelo Anthony. Now, first, white folks, when they heard about this situation, they automatically tried to paint him like a criminal, but that didn't work, Art, because he's a 3.73 GPA student. He's the captain of at least 2 sports teams. He has no prior criminal history. And then they said, well, he's just another little ghetto boy. That didn't work, Art. He comes from a 2-parent home where they work and they live in an affluent suburban part of Frisco, Texas. So the ghetto narrative that the media likes to paint on Black men accused of physical violence did not work with Karmelo. So what do we know about this case? Karmelo Anthony was at a track meet. Some people claim it was a district track meet. Others claim it was a community track meet, but children from the district were there. I don't know for sure. It'll come out in court as to whether this was a school district track meet or whether this was a community track meet that simply included children from the school district. I don't know for sure. Then they say the weapon used in this self-defense act was a knife. Some people said it was not a knife, but it was a tool that is used to clean cleats. We don't know. We will have to see when the case takes place at trial. However, Art, what we do know is it was raining that day at the track meet. It was raining.
It was raining.
Karmelo wanted to escape the rain. And as you know, Art, when it's raining and you want to escape it, you'll run to the closest tent you can find. It don't matter if...
Oh, no, we're going to get some dialogue. Press 1 that if you in the rain and it starts to rain, you're going to run to the nearest cover. Press 1 if it rains outside, you're going to run to the nearest cover. Or you have done it in your life. Press 1 if you believe it. I don't care where you at. If it starts raining, you're going to run to cover the first reaction in your mind. Press 1 if you believe it. Press 2 if you're going to stand in the damn rain. Because we're going to see who agree and who don't. Because what's funny is, in this whole situation, people agree of self-defense, but people also don't agree with the unaliving. But also there's a situation where they say, hey, he was provoked by somebody that was twice his size. Or not necessarily twice, but this man weighing 160 and that man weighing 200 and some pound being a football player. Big difference. Are we pressing 1 if you going for cover when it starts to rain? Okay.
It's your school's tent. It don't matter if it's my school's tent. It don't matter. We don't know. We will have to see when the case takes place at trial. However, Art, what we do know is it was raining that day at the track meet. It was raining. Karmelo wanted to escape the rain. And as you know, Art, when it's raining and you want to escape it, you'll run to the closest tent you can find. It don't matter if it's your school's tent. It don't matter if it's my school's tent. It don't matter if it's your team's tent. It don't matter if it's the other team's tent.
It doesn't matter who tent it is because we are at school. This is a school functioning situation. It starts to rain. Everybody's looking for cover. So your first intent is, okay, let me get under this tent. You're not thinking that you go under this tent and the people that's under this tent is from a different school, but they are talking to you or coming at you as if you are the enemy. See, it's a difference in saying, I'm finna go up under this tent, and you get up under there and people see you and they like, oh, hey. And they're like, oh, man, hey, it's all good. Everybody's getting out of the rain. Why couldn't they say, hey, it's all good. Get out the rain. Rain gonna be done. Go on about your business. Because, see, to me, what's funny is if that had been vice versa, black people tent, white person coming in the tent for rain, and black people says, hey, get the hell out my tent, dirty. We don't care about the rain. They making them out to be like, oh, that's typical black people hating and being mad. Did you think about that? Because why couldn't they just say, hey, it's cool. You can be up under the tent while it rain and it lighten up, or they can let him be under the tent until he find his actual place so he can get where he's going. I'm not understanding why he couldn't be up under the tent while it was raining. Like, nobody talks about that. They're only talking about he was up under their tent and they said, get out. And because he didn't get out, they said they approached him. Or because he didn't get out, he told them, don't mess with me. He shouldn't even have felt like that. Like, why am I running up under a tent and people up under there making me get out and it's raining hella hard? Why can't I just be right there? See, that's how you start to expose a person being against you or being against you or your race. Because I don't understand why it was a problem for a person to just be up under a tent because it's raining cats and dogs out of nowhere. Think about that for a second, fam. You just saying, oh, hey, you know, what's the problem with being under the tent? Because nobody's thinking that. But let there be black people in that tent It'd have been a different story if that was a black person's tent, a white boy run to the tent because it starts to rain, and black people say, get the hell out of my tent. This would be a whole different situation. But the fact that black dude run up under the tent because it's raining, it's looked over. All they looking at is that those people said, this is my tent, this is my team, leave. Wow.
I want to get soaking wet, so I'm going to go sit under a tent. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm minding my business. I'm just trying to keep dry. So then the two Hunter boys see him. Hunter and Austin. And they decide to approach and engage Karmelo. Now, the media is being dishonest about this situation, Art. The media is claiming that this was a one-to-one fisticuff between Hunter, and Karmelo. I'm going to say between one of the brothers because I keep getting the names mixed up. I believe it was Hunter, and I do want to say rest in peace to him. My condolences to his father, his family. Nobody deserves to lose a child.
That's true.
Black, white, red, yellow, or brown. Nobody deserves to lose a child, not at that age, regardless of who fault it was. I'm sorry they lost their child. Condolences to the family. So R.I.P. Hunter comes and engages Karmelo with his brother Austin. Hunter and Austin tell Karmelo, you're under the wrong tent. Get from under the tent. Karmelo says, I'm just trying to stay dry or get dry. Leave me alone. Hunter, rest in peace, smacks the phone out of Karmelo's hand.
Okay, now, what we talking about now? Do you believe that story? Press 1 if you believe that story. That Hunter and Austin approached Karmelo, told him to get out, smacked the phone out of his hand. So do you believe that Hunter and Austin were the aggressors? Press 1 if you believe so. Press 2 if you don't. Let's be 100 right now. The man said, I'm running in the tent from the rain. Leave me alone. I'm trying to get dry right quick. As my point as to what was the big deal about him getting dry? Why couldn't he get dry? What was the point? What was the problem? One human, another human running in from the rain, just trying to get dry. Think about it, man. Just trying to get dry. Why can't be dry in your tent? What's wrong? I don't fit in with y'all. I'm a human. Y'all humans. I'm black. Y'all white. We human though. What's wrong? So already there's tension because he's in their tent and they're mad. So who's mad? They are mad. They are truly the aggressor. I'm not a racist. I'm just breaking down the story that was given because you got to understand it was a story given. It was a story altered. And as you see the jury, if you see an all-white jury or you see an all-black jury, you will feel some type of way too. So shut up for the ignorant out there. Be real. If it was an all-black jury, all you people will feel some type of way. Don't do that. You know that sound real. You know that look real janky. Now, it wasn't only one tent. That was the tent that was nearby while he was running. Let me say that again. That was not the only tent. That was the only tent that was near and the closest to run to for cover. For the person that says that was that the only tent? No, there was different teams out there. This is a track meet. If you ever been to a track meet, all the teams come together, everybody got their posts. But again, people are walking around. Everybody's in everybody's area. It's a track meet. So you coming and going. The moment it starts to rain, wherever your body is at, you're going to run for the nearest cover. And the nearest cover was their tent. So again, under the tent, from the rain, not coming into the tent because he's mad. He coming in because he trying to get dry from the rain. Press 1 if you believe that, or press 2 if you don't believe he was running in from the rain and he was coming to get on them. Do you really believe this little dude was coming to their tent to get them and beat them up and unalive them? Press 1 if you think he was running from the rain, and press 2 if you believe he was coming to get Austin and Hunter. Oh man, look at this. This is crazy. Wow. Let's go.
He smacks the phone out of his hand, and the other brother, Austin, allegedly, goes to get his book back. Now, Art, I want to put this in perspective for you, Art. Karmelo Anthony is 160 pounds. Rest in peace, Hunter is 225-pound football player. Hunter is nearly 60, 70 pounds heavier than Karmelo by himself. But he was not by himself, Art. Hunter was with his brother Austin. Austin is around Hunter's size as well. So what you have in this situation, Art, is a 160-pound skinny black boy minding his business. And here comes two racist white boys who decide that they're going to remove this black boy from their tent with force. So you got to ask yourself something, Art. If I'm a 160-pound black boy, two white boys in racist Texas, both of whom are 60 to 70 pounds heavier than me, they come to accost me physically, knock my phone out my hand, try to grab my bag, try to throw me out. The media is making you think it's only one. But guess what, Art? I've been text messaged by eyewitnesses. I have received text messages from eyewitnesses. And you know what they told me, Art? They said both brothers tried to jump Karmelo. Both brothers tried to jump Karmelo. This was not a one-on-one fight. It was 2-on-1, but Austin doesn't want to tell the truth because if he tells the truth, Art, that helps Karmelo to establish his right to stand his ground. In the state of Texas, Art, you have the right to stand your ground. You know what that means? That means you have no duty to flee when you are approached by somebody trying to harm you. In the state of Texas, you do not have to run. In the state of Texas, if somebody is approaching to harm you, you have no duty to run. And if you feel that your life or safety is in imminent danger, you have a right to defend yourself, to include using deadly force. So when you hear people say, why didn't he run? First of all, it was raining. So I assumed the ground was wet. These two boys, troublemakers, respectfully, but they were troublemakers. They were athletes, so I'm sure they could run as well. But more than that, Art, Texas's stand your ground law did not require Karmelo to run. He had a right to stand and defend himself. And I'm going to say that if I am Karmelo Anthony's lawyer, I am arguing to the jury. My client felt that his safety was in imminent threat, that he felt he was about to be harmed by two football playing brothers, both of whom weighed 60 to 70 pounds more than him, and with a combined weight, Art, of nearly 500 pounds. A combined weight, these two brothers, Austin and Hunter, of nearly 500 pounds against this one skinny 160-pound black boy, Karmelo. Under those circumstances, Art, I believe that he had a right to stand his ground. If I'm 160 pounds and two football playing brothers with a combined weight of more than 400, nearly 500 pounds are coming to jump me, and I'm only 160 pounds, and I'll warn them, touch me again and see what happens. He's warning them, Art. He's warning them, I don't want no trouble. But if y'all think y'all going to hurt me and do damage to me, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself. And according to the law, Art, he was within his right to do so. I don't think he intended to kill the brother. I think he just intended to jab him so he would back off. But when you are afraid, when you are scared, when you are timid, when you are fighting for your life, Art, you will do anything. How many women have shot and killed domestically abusive husbands and didn't do it on purpose? How many women have shot and killed domestically abusive husbands, but they didn't do it on purpose? They did it out of fear that I need to act before he acts. And if I miss, I might die. He could have been beat to death that day, Art. Karmelo Anthony could have been beat to death that day, and instead he chose to stand his ground. So what's the problem then, Art? Why are white folks all up in arms over this? Y'all wasn't up in arms when Breonna Taylor got murdered. Y'all wasn't up in arms when Trayvon got murdered. Y'all wasn't up in arms with Freddie Gray or Philando Castile or Tamir Rice or Sandra Bland. Y'all wasn't up in arms with Amir Locke, Sonia Massey, all these black people murdered by police and so-called vigilante white people. Y'all didn't say nothing about them. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines, Art. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines, bought a rifle, crossed state lines, unalived 2 people, injured many others, and he went home free. No conviction. George Zimmerman pursued Trayvon Martin with a gun, shot him in cold blood. He went home. No conviction. Daniel Penny choked our brother Jordan Neely to death in a New York City subway. Daniel Penny choked Jordan Neely to death in a New York City subway, Art. No conviction. Daniel Penny pursued Jordan Neely. George Zimmerman pursued Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines and pursued trouble, and they went home without a charge. Karmelo Anthony was sitting under a tent so he couldn't get wet. He was sitting under a tent so he couldn't get wet, and 2 racist white boys, rest in peace to Hunter, condolences to his family. But these 2 racist white boys thought they had a right to forcibly move this black boy from that space. White people have always felt that they had jurisdiction over the black body. It goes back to the plantation days, Art. The problem with this case is the stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. The stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. It was never intended for black people to use the stand your ground law to defend themselves against white people. And guess what, Art? White people don't care whether or not Karmelo is justified or not. They don't care. Even if it is proven that Karmelo acted in self-defense, and it will be, they don't care. The problem with white folks is in this country, black people do not have a right to defend themselves from Caucasians. This is a 400-year-old practice. This is a 400-year-old norm. This is a 400-year-old culture. This is a 400-year-old custom, Art. So he's not in court fighting against the law. The law is on Karmelo's side. The problem is, the basic problem of this case in Frisco, Texas, Art, is a black boy valued his own life enough. A black boy valued his own life enough to take the life of a Caucasian in order to defend it. And in American history, you rarely come across black men, let alone a child, who valued his life enough and had courage enough to defend himself against 2 racists who were trying to harm him. And let me say this, Art. People are talking about why did he have a knife? He's a black man in Texas. Why wouldn't he have a knife? Are they crazy? If you black in America, Art, you better be carrying something. And check it out, Art, in Texas, guess what? It is perfectly legal to carry a knife in Texas as long as the blade doesn't exceed 5.5 inches. So if Karmelo Anthony had a knife on him, that doesn't make him a criminal. After all, isn't this Texas? Isn't this the state that prides itself on allowing its citizens to openly carry guns without no license to carry? So if this is a state that prides itself on allowing its citizens, Art, to openly carry guns, firearms, without a registered license to carry, how can you be upset with a 17-year-old black boy who carries a knife for self-protection? He had a right to have that knife. He was not breaking the law to have that knife because Texas law allows children even to carry knives as long as the blade doesn't.
See, that's the thing. Even if you got, hit that like button, double tap that screen. Listen to me. Even if you got a form of anything on you, on your keychain, you know, because some people walk around with knives on their keychain, like work knives, stuff like that. I think the point that I'm making is that we all agree that he went up under the tent because it was raining. We all agree to that. That's the story. That's a consistent story that he went up under that tent because it started raining. That's where the gray area comes in for me. Because if he didn't go, if him not going under the tent for no other reason but because it's raining, why do I gotta fight? Why am I up under this tent and now I gotta fight people? Why I gotta be defending myself? Why am I put in a position to have to defend my life? Or why am I even put into a position? I'm only under the tent because it's raining. And then when he was told to leave, let's be real right now, because I think this is the issue with that. When asked to leave and told to leave, he said, when I get dry, when the rain kind of calm down, I'll leave or dry. At that point, if they wanted him to leave so fast, why they didn't just go get security? I'll wait. See, this is the point I'm trying to make about people having intent on wanting to do something to you instead of just going to handle it the way it needs to be handled. Why didn't he just go get security? That's what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to get you all to see so many ways that this could have been handled without two people coming with aggression, altercation, or anything that says we're about to fight because you under our tent. Why are we trying to fight you to get you from up under our tent instead of saying, okay, you don't want to leave? Okay, I'm going to just go out here and go get authorities, teachers, or that. Even in the rain. Because think about this. The whole time it was raining. So you got people, this man is up under your tent because it's raining hard. And you saying get out. And he's saying no. So you going to say, okay, cool. You don't want to get out? Cool. In the rain, you finna walk your ass all the way across the track to go tell a teacher or security, somebody in your tent, while the rain is pouring down on you. That's what you finna do? You wouldn't do that? To save life? You wouldn't do that so life is saved? You wouldn't do that so we not looking at what we looking at today? Two lives are gone. Somebody's in the dirt and somebody's in the jail. If it was that serious, why you just didn't go get security? Oh, my bad. Oh, because them boys felt like they was tough. and that they can handle it themselves? Because you know what happened, right? An altercation began. And it didn't begin with Karmelo. He didn't begin the altercation. That's what I'm trying to tell you here, fam. Listen. An altercation began, and he didn't start it. So why are people in here talking like Karmelo was tripping? The man is up under there only for water. Clearly they mad, and they're making him get out. And then they come at him like, you better get out, and we gonna make you get out. Let me say this right here. The jury was wrong. And my next interview that I'm going to play for you to see that the lawyer is explaining about the jurors being wrong. Because those jurors are supposed to be of your peers. And there is nothing but white jurors on their jury selection. That's wrong within itself. That made me feel like we was almost back 1,000 years ago in slavery days. Because what? That just blatantly happened. And then what else is funny is they never have ever really done a trial, a jury pick, a trial, and a verdict all in the same day. See, that's another thing letting you know that the opposition is coming for you, and they are targeting you to put you away. This was not fair trial. By no means was this fair trial. The jury wasn't even selected correctly. The footage, type footage if you believe in the footage. The footage wasn't even shown. Footage was hidden. And then I heard that the only way you could see the footage is that you had to register with the school, and then they had to pick you, and then they may send you the footage. So that means the footage, to me, I felt like the footage was altered. It felt like there was a cover-up. If you agree, press 1. If the footage was being held, do you believe that's janky? Let's just be white, black, whatever. If you in a situation and they withhold the footage, do you believe that's crooked or that's straight? Press 1 if you believe that's straight. Oh, my bad. I said press 1 if you believe that's crooked. My bad. So if you believe that's crooked, press 1. Because you shouldn't be holding footage. And then you registering, trying to see who want to see the footage. You actually got to see who want to see it and then let them see it. Come on, fam. That's janky. Okay, none of y'all in here that agree that Karmelo need to be locked up can agree that the footage could not have been just released to the public. We just going off the facts. Let's just go off the stories. You ain't got to know the facts. Let's just go off the stories, because everybody going off the stories. Those of you that agree that Karmelo should be locked up right now, you're going off the stories. You don't know the facts, but the stories that's consistent create facts. And we all know consistency is it was raining. Karmelo ran to the nearest cover. That was the opposition's tent. In the tent, they told him to leave. He said, I'm not leaving until I'm dry because it's raining too hard. At that point, they approach him and they begin to assault him, trying to get him to leave. Instead of going to consult for authorities to come back and remove him or make him leave. So this is where you have to be real with yourself about people being racist and people targeting and having intent to fight, because at that point they chose to assault him, to make him remove him by force. Let's be real. Hunter and Austin chose to remove him by force. Press 1 if you believe they chose to remove Karmelo by force. I want to know who with me. I want to know who ain't with me. I want to know who is logic and who is making sense of things. We got to make it make sense. Karmelo never fought. Karmelo never started a fight. All he said is, I ain't leaving. So they was already mad, told him to get out, and they approached him and did this and that with him. So how are we talking about Karmelo starting anything if all they had to do was just go get authorities to tell this man to leave? But again, why does he have to leave if he's causing no trouble and he's only under there for cover of the rain? That's what I'm trying to make it make sense. Why do I got to leave your tent if I'm only under here because of the water? I'm not under here for problems. That means you don't like me and you don't even know me. That's what I'm saying. That's a race situation because you don't even know me and you're like, hey, just get out. And I get it. I'm a stranger. But I'm a kid. I'm not some stranger danger adult that's running into a kid's tent because there's water outside. We're all kids. So evidently there had to be some type of factor of them not liking him for who they're looking at because they don't know him. So clearly they don't know him to not like his character or his personality. They had to not like his profile. Make it make sense. They looking at him like, oh, this black guy just ran into our tent and he's from the other team. Get out. Who are you? He's like, no, I'm not. I'm staying here. And they're like, no, we're going to make you get out. So how don't you, if you put yourself in that position, you as a woman trying to run for cover into other women's tent and there's water up under there. You can't get up under there. You telling me they going to do that to you? They going to beat you up if you don't leave their tent instead of them just telling somebody come get you up out of there?
See the 5.5 and the harassment.
Well, obviously, first and foremost, I think this is the only defense that, the defense has of self-defense. If you read the police report, it's right there in black and white.
Let me put it like this. If Austin never decided to take it upon himself to assault Karmelo, he'd still be alive. Let's just put it like that. So the white supremacists over at Fox News are absolutely panicking after they made the mistake of bringing on an expert attorney, Mark Astor, who revealed to them that Karmelo Anthony might possibly have been handed a get out of jail free card as a result of the racism of the prosecutors who are trying this case, this murder case with Karmelo Anthony, who of course who has been charged with first-degree murder of Austin Metcalf. So we're going to dive into that situation. We're going to listen to what this expert defense attorney, who's also prosecuted criminals as well, right? We're going to see what he had to say, and he's going to explain exactly how the greed, the racist greed of the prosecutors may have secured Karmelo's freedom, regardless of whether or not he should be held accountable to any degree, punished to any degree for his actions. This is a problem with racists. You see, they want to treat their own fairly or even give them, privilege, but they want to.
Hold up, El Gallo 32 PR. El Gallo said most Americans are entitled a-holes. So if he gets the security, he's saying if Austin and them would have got security and he still decides to pull the knife on security, then what? See, that's how I know that whatever you believe, El Gallo, that's you believing that he wasn't assaulted. That's you believing that he came in there trying to hurt people, or that's you believing that he was never assaulted at all. You believe that he was told to get out and he just started stabbing people. See, that's that type of talk right there, El Gallo, that got you messed up and you're wrong. Totally wrong. Because if they telling him to leave and he says, I'm not leaving because of the rain, and then they go get security and security says, hey, you can't be here even in the rain. You can't be here. You got to go. He's gone. Why would he be pulling a knife on security? Security is an authority that's saying security is not going to approach him in a, wait for it, conflicting way. If they would have went and got security or a teacher and security was not going to approach Karmelo in the same conflicting, altercation, fighting tone way as Austin and his brother did. Let's make it make sense, fam. Make it make sense. That was stupid. What you said was just stupid. Security, if you go get security or you go get a teacher or you go get a staff member, they're not going to come back to Karmelo in a conflicting, altercation, fighting tone, checking way, smacking phones out of hands, doing anything in a jumping you way, two brothers about to jump on you way. No, security ain't coming like that. Teachers aren't coming like that. So no, he wouldn't have felt in defense. If anything, he's a kid in school. You go get the teacher, you got to go sit down in timeout. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you, fam. Make it make sense. If you go get the teacher and the security, they ain't coming back talking about, hey, get your book bag, smack your phone out your hand. No, they ain't doing it. They're going to come back like, hey, sir, you're not supposed to be here. They don't want you even though it's raining. I need you to come walk with us. We probably got an umbrella for you. We can help you out. Thank you. So instead of them being 17 sitting in timeout, the point I'm making is when you go get the teacher is in authority. The teacher is the say-so. The teacher is telling you what to do. So no teacher's going to come back in conflict for them to get into a fight for a knife to come out. No. So let's not say that no more, El Gallo, because that makes no sense, fam. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We got to make it make sense when we're talking. What I'm saying is this is a very light situation because of the rain. And if you that mad, because I'm a stranger, but I'm a kid, and I'm in here because of the rain, I'm not in here talking stuff. I'm not in here talking to y'all. I literally come from up under the rain because of the water, and whatever you all are doing is interrupted, and then everybody looks at me and says, get the hell out. And I'm like, hold up, it's still raining. I'm trying to get a little dry. I'll leave. And they like, no, leave now. And you're like, man, listen, it's really raining outside. It's going crazy. Give me a little minute, fam. And he's like, no, leave now. Push. Think about that. This man talking about it doesn't matter. No, Frisco, let me tell you something, Frisco kid 157, it do matter. Because if that was your child, going into a tent because it's raining or because dogs is coming, and a dog about to get you and you got to run to cover and you run into somebody's tent, you're not going to expect them to want to sit there and fight your child because that child came into that tent because we're at school. So that makes no sense to me for you to say it doesn't matter. Don't be in the opposition's tent. Don't be in another school's tent. No, this is not the enemy. These are teams at a track meet. This ain't war. Like y'all keep making it seem like this was like you making it seem like this was war, and this man is in the enemy's tent, looking at them prepared to kill them, to unalive them. Make it make sense. This is school. This is a track meet. These are kids up under their own tents from their representative schools. It starts to rain and I can't sit for a second. And then you come with the he was a thug thing. See, that's where you trip. He's not a thug. Nothing about him says he was a thug. But I know other people, like even in myself, where you can look at people's background and say, we thugs. But he wasn't a thug. He was a stand-up guy. Never had a record, none of that. So you can scratch that off. He's not a thug. Nothing about him had a record for the show that he was a thug. So that's you looking at a narrative from the media, trying to draw up a narrative that this kid was just mad and want to go beat up people when, again, he was in there because of the rain. Now let's listen to this lawyer make a lot of more people look stupid because he's going to say where the defense and the prosecutor, he's going to say where the prosecutors trip.
Do too much, right, when it's a black person. And in them trying to do too much, well, then they've possibly put him in a position where he will not be penalized at all, right? And so, as usual, they are their own destruction. So here we have Karmelo Anthony on the left, Austin Metcalf on the right, and they were both 17-year-old teenagers when this happened. It is truly a tragedy what happened on both sides. We had a young boy who lost his life, and we had another young boy who was possibly put himself in a position where his life is going to be ruined for the rest of his life. So here, let's read an official statement from a police officer who was on the scene the day this incident occurred. This is coming from the official arrest report. On Wednesday, April 22nd, 2025, Officer Taylor Wetzel, was assigned to work patrol in the city of Frisco. At approximately 10:02 hours, I responded to the report of a stabbing at David Kuykendall Stadium located at 88257th Street. The original call notes stated an athlete had been stabbed in the chest and that the subject that stabbed the victim goes to Sentinel High School. Athletic trainers were on site and were providing care to the victim and advised he was not conscious and not breathing. The notes also indicated that the suspect was a black male with a goatee and short hair wearing Sentinel gear. I arrived on scene at approximately 10:06 hours. When I arrived on scene, I grabbed a roll of crime scene tape from my truck and proceeded to the visitors' bleachers where dispatch advised the victim was. While I was walking towards the visitors' bleachers, I was approached by a witness who identified himself as redacted, and he began telling me what happened. And as I asked him where the stabbing occurred, redacted advised it had happened under the Memorial High School pop-up tent in the visitors' bleachers. I immediately informed Sergeant Otis where the witness stated the stabbing occurred and gave him the crime scene tape to start securing the crime scene. I then had redacted move to the walkway under the visitors' bleachers out of the rain, so it was in fact raining, to further speak with me. The following, which is, of course, why he was under the tent in the first place. Okay, the following is a summary of my contact with redacted. Advised he was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent with his team and was near the victim, Austin, and the suspect, who was later identified as Karmelo Anthony. Anthony was from Sentinel High School and was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. Okay, now let's pause here. Now notice what Karmelo allegedly said. Touch me and see what happens. This is not provocation. Okay, right? If somebody comes up to you and is talking shit in your face, talking about, "Hey man, I'ma smack you," and you say, "Oh yeah, well smack me and see what happens next." That is not you daring anybody to smack you. That is not provocation. You are being the provocateur. You are the one getting up in somebody else's personal space. You're the one that is infringing upon their bodily autonomy.
You are the aggressor.
You're the one threatening them.
Right.
They tell you, "Hey, by the way, if you do something to me, you're not going to like what happens next. Touch me and see what happens." This is not daring anybody to do anything, as a lot of these white supremacists like to paint the situation. We continue. So we see Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what redacted recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest, and then began to run away, and then ran away. And so we see Austin put hands on Anthony twice, right? Now, I don't want to deliberate the situation like we said earlier. We don't have all of the information. Right? Context is everything. Tonality is everything. Attitude is everything. We don't know what the body language was at the time of this, right? And I haven't seen any eyewitness statements that have sounded incredibly charitable to Karmelo, right? So all of these statements could be coming from people who are biased towards Austin. But the point is, if we were to just make this another situation where it's a white guy, he has a gun, right? Black guy comes up to him and telling him he needs to get out of here. The white guy is like, hey, man, you better leave me the fuck alone, right? If you mess with me, you're not going to like what happens next, right? And then the black guy grabs him. The white guy gets off of him and is like, hey, man, touch me and see what happens. And the black guy hits him again, and the white guy shoots at him. Well, all of these Fox News people would be saying that was completely justified. All right. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Redacted advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another Memorial Track member, was friends with Anthony and that he could identify Anthony. So again, look at that. Somebody under the tent was friends with Anthony. So Karmelo was there. He was there with a friend, and it was raining. This Austin Metcalf dude seems like a bully that took it upon himself to remove somebody from the tent for no reason.
Like I said, hit that like button, double tap that screen, become a member today. Listen here, facts is facts. For those people that's in here that's backing or that's against Karmelo, let's make it make sense. If this was vice versa, right? And black folk would say, hey, you know, 2 black people was in here, 2 black brothers in here, and 2 white guys run into our tent, and we telling them to get out the tent. And white dude and them like, dude, it's raining. What do you mean? We're not getting out, dude. You see what it's doing? Like, give me a minute, dude. And we like, nah, bro, you gotta go, fam. Get out right now. And we approach you like, get the stepping. And you don't get the stepping. And then I grab your bag and start shaking you up like, hey, Dirty, I told you, let's get it popping. And then you get me and you say, hey, touch me again, you're gonna see what's up. Or if you touch me, you're gonna see what it is. Situations like that, come on, man. Make it make sense. If you telling me that you ain't seeing a situation about a man telling some other man, I'm just telling you, if that's 2 black brothers in a tent and 2 white guys is coming in on that, we gonna say, okay, well, yeah, we was the aggressors because we the one telling them, get the hell out. And if you don't get out, or we gonna make you get out. Walking up on you in your face about to put hands on you. I done already touched your bag. So technically I done put hands on you. And you telling me that ain't Austin and his brothers are not the aggressors? Because you know, this story is from the police. This is the actual police report. This is the actual police report, period. Mama K in the building, Love Within in the building, Tonda in the building. I'm just trying to say, like, this is the situation. So we got to make it make sense because at some point, I'm just saying, if it was vice versa, we would be the aggressor, the black person, black folk that's in that tent. And if white people would have came in, the black people would be the aggressors. How are you all not seeing that Austin and his brother were the aggressors? And by the way, Karmelo wasn't in there just by himself. He was just in there with someone else as well. So him and a friend is in this tent because they both are ducking the rain. If they were the aggressors, you would have heard that Karmelo and his friend approaching Austin and his brother and causing altercation, causing provocation, causing fights. But you're not getting that. Everything that you're hearing that the brothers provoked him. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let's go.
Probably because he was racist. But anyway, we continue. Redacted described Anthony as a black male, skinny with a goatee, short puffy hair, and wearing Sentinel High School clothing. This concluded my contact with Redacted. I was then instructed to start a crime scene log.
Real quick, Texas James, what's a lie? Tell me what's a lie. Tell me what's a lie. Texas James, tell me what's a lie. We're giving you full facts, fam. Let's make it make sense. What's a lie? What's a lie? We just read with the first police officer. This is the first police officer's report that reported to the scene of the crime when hearing about it. Do we need to read? Let's restart this report. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, because I don't want nobody else acting ignorant in here. We're hitting that like button. If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. If it talk like it, walk like it, it is that. We trying to break down facts of what it was and why this man had to lose his life up against them instead of them trying to fight him. All they had to do if they felt some type of way outside of them asking him to leave is go call on the teacher, staff, or authorities, and they would have came and told this kid, Karmelo, hey, you gotta go. This is the other team. Or security staff or a teacher would have came and told Austin and his brother, calm down. It's raining out here. Give them a minute. Give us a minute. What is the big deal? Think about that. We're talking about if they would have told a teacher in their right mind, a teacher or a security guard, something like that, and they know it's raining like that, they probably would have looked at Austin and his brother like, dude, what is the problem? What's wrong? It's raining cats, dogs, and birds and cows, and they just running for cover. Why are you all so up in arms about making them get out so fast and so aggressive and just so adamant about it? What is the problem? That's when you figure out, is it a racist thing? Is it a intentional thing? Or is it just a bully thing? And that's the word that we're not hearing tonight. We have to bring this to the forefront. Is this a bully thing? Because why we can't be in your tent for a second? If they would have got a teacher, a security, or a staff, the staff or the teacher would have been like, hey, listen, calm down, guys. Let's calm down. We don't want altercations. It's raining cats and dogs. Let's give it a minute, and then everybody will go their separate ways. But no. What was the reason that made Austin and his brother want to fight to get that boy out that tent when that boy ain't doing nothing but standing there from the rain? Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let's go.
Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Redacted advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated incredibly charitable to Karmelo, right? So all of these statements could be coming from people who are biased towards Austin. But the point is, if we were to just make this another situation where it's a white guy, he has a gun, right? Black guy comes up to him and telling him he needs to get out of here. And the white guy is like, hey, man, you better leave me the fuck alone, right? If you mess with me, you're not going to like what happens next, right? And then the black guy grabs him, the white guy gets off of him and is like, hey, man, touch me and see what happens. And the black guy hits him again and the white guy shoots at him. Well, all of these Fox News people would be saying that was completely justified. All right. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Redacted advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another Memorial Trap member, was friends with Anthony and that he could identify Anthony. So again, look at that. Somebody under the tent was friends with Anthony. So Karmelo was there. He was there with a friend and it was raining. This Austin Metcalf dude seems like a bully that took it upon himself to remove somebody from the tent for no reason. Probably because he was...
So let's get the facts right. I didn't even know that. Karmelo knew somebody under the tent from the same school that Austin and them went to. Did you know that? What? The man knew somebody from the same school Austin and them was from. That's another reason why he probably didn't even feel like he had to leave. First of all, Austin and his brother don't own shit. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Austin and his brother don't own the tent. The school owned the tent, partner. Y'all don't own the tent, fam. None of them own the tent. So I'm trying to figure out why Austin and his brother thinking they the big bad wolves all of a sudden and trying to make somebody get out of something because that's a different school. Your school owned that tent. So that means Austin, his brother, and Karmelo's friend went to that school and they were up under that tent. So if I see my partner in the tent that I'm running out the rain for cover and I see my player partner from school, from the same school that Austin in, I see him in there with him. Come on, hello. I see my partner. I'm gonna be, what's up, fam? What we doing, G? And that's just on the street. I know this man, and this is a school tent. This ain't y'all tent, Austin and Hunter. This ain't y'all tent, fam. What y'all think y'all on? And my partner in her too? Hey, Dirty, I'm finna set up shop in her. My partner in her. My partner ain't even told me I gotta go. See, that's different. Because if my friend in her, that's from the same school, he not even telling me I gotta go. Or he would have been like, hey, bro, you know, you gotta step out because, you know, teachers or somebody gonna come. Come on, let's make it make sense right quick. If that's my friend from the same school that Austin and them is, from the other school that I just ran under the tent, and I see my friend under there, and he up under there, and we like, what's up, fam? We kicking, talking. And my friend ain't even telling me to get out because he ain't tripping off the teachers and the security. I'm straight. What you mean? I'm straight. I'm not white. My partner in here, fam. And you white boys don't own the tent. Make me move. What you talking about? That's another reason, Candy Girl Pink, that's another reason why it would have been in their best interest to go get the teacher, the staff, or the security. Why? Because you don't own the tent. The school does. Are we gonna get down to the bottom of it, fam? Because there was so many ways that this could have been handled instead of two white boys getting tough and getting out their body, thinking they still owning slaves or thinking this is back in the day, making black people or making anybody do anything that you say. Just like these Karens be walking out here, or like these extra white folk that be asking black people why you live over here, where you stay at, why you over here, why you at the park, why you at the water place, why you over here, why you over there. I be seeing that stuff on YouTube. Just coming up asking people why they here. Boy, why you here? I'm here like you here. I'm doing what you on. We on the same thing. What you mean? So that's my point is what I'm saying. If I see my partner in here, because he's seen his partner, so I'm staying in here. My partner's in here. Hey, well, you two white boys don't own this. I can stay here all day because my partner right here, and he ain't even telling me to get out because of the teachers. So let's make it make sense. Let's go.
Racist. But anyway, we continue. Redacted described Anthony as a black male, skinny with...
That's not a lie, Ricky. Ricky, you sound stupid, Ricky. That's not a lie. We're reading the actual report right here in your face. Stupid ass. Open your eyes. Read. Stay here. Don't go nowhere. Ricky. Stay right here. Rereading it what it says.
A goatee, short puffy hair, and wearing Sentinel High School clothing. This concluded my contact with Redacted. I was then instructed to start a crime scene log. I retrieved blah, 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 blah. So that's coming straight out of the mouth of somebody who was literally there and saw everything unfolded. Okay. Anyway, all of this happens. All of this happens, right? Anthony, he is arrested. He is charged. His bail is initially set, I think, to $1 million. They end up reducing it to $250,000. He makes bail, right? So he's been on house arrest for pretty much the last year, but not in jail. Now we fast forward. The trial begins. Yesterday...
I'm not racist. I'm just trying to give you the point of view that there was two black guys in there and a white dude came in trying to come in from the rain. And his white partner was in there. Two black dudes ain't finna be like, hey, yo, get out. Because we don't own the tent. The school own the tent. Now, we might be like, hold on, Dirty, what you on? Who is you? But we see that it's raining. So we ain't gonna really trip because we see that it's raining. See, let me give you the difference between us and y'all. And this ain't no thing about no racist, nothing. I'm just letting you know how we rock, fam, because it ain't no pressure with us. Everybody can come up under the tent and get free because it's raining cats and dogs. I'm telling you, let me ask you again how I asked everybody in the beginning. If it starts raining right now and you're outside or are you going to go for the first cover you see? Yes, type 1, yes, or 2, no. If it starts raining and you're outside, are you going to go straight for cover? Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. Right now. Because we're going to make this make sense. Because I want to know who's going to stand in the rain or who going to, like, and just be real. Like, just don't, like, take your feelings out of it. If it starts raining like hell right now, are you looking for the first cover or you really going to stand there and just keep letting it rain on your head because you don't want to go up under that tent? Right. Get out the way. It's raining. That's what I'm saying, man. Make it make sense, fam. Brian, don't be another chud. You see what's going on with him. Don't be another chud. Because even that within itself, you up in here talking about chimping out, you know that's you over here being disrespectful. And I'm going to let you talk how you want. But see, if I started getting out of my body and get on you and start saying stuff about your way, you would think I'm on that. But I'm not that. So I know you racist when you talking like that. But that's fine. Keep coming with it. I just want you to understand where we at with it. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. So, let's go.
Or the day before yesterday, rather, within the last 48 hours, the jury was selected. And here's where we're going to get to how these racists may have bitten off more than they can chew because they're getting too greedy. Instead of charging him with manslaughter, instead of charging him with second-degree murder, they were hungry, they were greedy for it, they wanted to give him first-degree murder. They pushed it a step further. They eliminated all potential black jurors from the jury. There is not a single black jury member.
What? Now, this make me feel like we living back in the first days of slavery. That's what this feels like when you find out that this man don't even get no jury of his peers. You are supposed to be granted a jury of your peers. And that's just at the jury selection. At the jury selection, prosecuting attorneys and defendants, they sit there and pick the jurors that they want for the case. Those likely to persuade or influence the minds or the same decisions of those in the room of the other jurors that persuade your argument for your client. Okay? Hit that like button, double tap that screen. What's funny to me is how make it make sense to me that this is an all-white jury so we can keep going. I want you all to type in the chat right now that this all-white jury makes sense to you. Press 1 if you think the all-white jury was justice. Press 2 if you think it wasn't. I want to know who believed this shit. I really want to know who believed this right now. I want to know who believed this right now. Shout out to A Love Within with the $4.99 Nation in the super chat. Boom! I want to know who believe it. Press 1 if you believe it. Press 2 if you don't. Because you said an all-white jury was literally put in place. So those that believe it was okay for an all-white jury, you press 1. I want to know your reason why you think it was okay for an all-white jury in this case. And I want to know why you think it's okay for all white juries in the future as well. Are you the same people that believe that it's okay to have one race of jurors on a trial? Shout out to Sugar Mama in the building. I need to know. Do you believe it's okay that one race should rule the entire jury panel? I see my twos in here. Do not believe that. Because this is exactly what happened. So we got to make it make sense, because for my white people, for my white homies out there, and I'm just keeping it 100. For the white people out there, and I'm just saying white people because I don't know y'all name, ain't nothing disrespectful. For you white people out there, you believe it's okay to have an all-black jury panel for your case? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. I just want to know. I'm just asking. I just want to know. Do you think it's okay to have an all-black panel, jury panel, in the case of you, if you're being tried on trial? And you know what else is crazy? And this is how you know black people, even with stuff that black people have been through, black people are in here right now responding, saying that that's still not okay. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you, fam. It's people out here that are really racist, and it's people out here that really aren't, because they see this as equal. It should never be an all-black panel of jurors. It should never be an all-white panel of jurors. It should never be that. And that's just because in the eyes of the other race, we don't want people to seem biased. That is a simple reason. That is the only simplest reason. In the eyes of the other race, in the case, we don't want to seem biased. If you are guilty for what you did, we ain't got to make up nothing about you. We don't have to hide footage. We don't have to hide tapes. We don't have to create narratives. We don't have to make somebody say, hey, this guy was bad in school, or this guy was a thug over here. You don't have to discredit anyone. If you bad, you bad. That's it. And it's going to just come to light. No one has to discredit you to sugarcoat it. Nobody has to call in and say, hey, no black jurors today. We want to bury this ninja. And we're going to bury him like we did back in the day. That was the bar. See, we wouldn't even wish that on you, even if you're wrong. Because if you're wrong, you're just going to be proven guilty and proven wrong. We don't have to make it all black panel jurors. We don't have to do any of such. You're just wrong. And it's going to be exposed and came to the light in the eyes of the world, of the public. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. That's the difference I'm trying to tell you, fam. He came up under there for water because it was raining. 2 people that was white didn't want him up under there, and they took it into their own right and hands to get rid of him a certain way, and it didn't turn out in their best bets or their best efforts. And it's like white people are so mad because of it. Because in my case, if this would have turned out different and both of them white boys would have jumped him and killed him or unalived him, excuse my language, if they would have unalived him, 2 white boys for jumping him, then what we gonna be talking about? And that's a big difference when we talking to see, and this ain't even white folk, we talking about Chinese people out here getting off. What's up, Wick Child? Chinese folk out here getting off. Wick Child, because at the end of the day, you still, like I said, it was raining. He's going up under the tent for the rain. He's not even going for his friend that, by the way, he knows that goes to the other school that the white boys go to. He up under there for the rain. So why are the white boys so mad? Why are you all so mad? You got these 2 white folk mad. And you know what else is funny? It's white people that don't even agree with that. Because they like, why they so mad? They don't own the tent. They just go to the school. Why they so mad? That's the funny part. Why they so mad that he up under there from the rain? And then they want to jump him, or they want to get aggressive. They want to get aggressive. Yes, Andy, this guy is very stupid. David Castro, what is stupid about what I'm saying? The facts are in the report, dumbasses. The facts are in the report. The man is up under the tent for the water. You white boys, you white boy freeing people. Yo Austin and yo Hunter, they got mad because he was up under there and they tried to chin check him. And you talking about what's stupid? What's stupid? Tell me what's stupid when your partner and them tried to check dude and dude got off on him right there. What's stupid about that? Let's make it make sense right quick. Everything about that was self-defense. And everything about that is self-defense and letting you know that that's self-defense, meaning he wasn't the aggressor. He didn't go after the white boys. They went after him. Let me say that again for the people in the back. He didn't go after them. They went after him. They told him to get out. He said no. So they tried to make him get out. Are you all stupid or you're not reading what happened? That's what happened. So why are you living a lie? They told him to get out. He said no, so they tried to make him get out. What are we talking about? And he said, if you try to do something to me, it's going to turn out bad. What are we talking about, fam? See, that's a straight up black guy telling you what it is. And if you do this, this is how it's going to end up. That's typical black activity, partner. My fault, but I'm just being honest with you. That's typical black activity to let you know. That's what y'all on, because this how we coming. I'm just trying to make it make sense, fam. Self-defense, oh man, see, this is real dumb. That's every bit of self-defense. That means you're defending self. Defend, the word defend. That means somebody is offending you. So you have to defend yourself. So I got stupid people in here trying to make stupid. Y'all trying to make stupid sound good. Y'all trying to make stupid sound smart. They offended him, so he had to defend himself. They talked bad to him, threatened him, and walked up on him. Showing a physical sign of force, provoking, and altercation. Let's go.
That will be judging this case, right? Which is insane. They did that, and a lot of the white people are celebrating this because they're saying, oh, well, look what happened to OJ. Yeah, well, let's look at the thousands of cases where black people in this country have not been given justice and were not tried fairly because there were no black people in that jury. See, this is how the white supremacist thinks. They think of one situation where things may have unfairly went in the favor of a black person, and so they want to never make things fair for black people again. They completely forget all the times things went unfairly for a black person because of the racism of white people, right? And so...
That is so sad. That is so sad. That is so sad. I mean, we got from Mike Brown to Floyd to Sandra. I mean, we can just go down we could just go down the list of before this time. I'm talking about even before this generation. We could just go down the list of stuff that folk done got off with. And then you get an O.J. Simpson trial. And they like, oh my God, the blacks have won. This is an outrage. We gotta never let this happen again. I can't believe this. What? Sandra Bland. I mean, we could go down the list. Even dude. And when you know what else crazy? Like, I'm just saying, think about it, fam. it's a different level when we're talking about how we have been treated over the years, over the decades, over the centuries, from Red Summer to Mike Brown. And it's so funny how one situation can be highlighted or projected as to make us look like we not right. And it's like white people straight forget all of this and all of that because of one situation that goes about because of OJ. Whether that's right or wrong, it's like, oh my God. But yet, oh man, we could go, oh man, hit that like button, let's go.
They're celebrating this. Well, take a listen to what this expert lawyer has to say on the matter. It's very interesting.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox, and we want to switch gears here and pivot to a case that has really grabbed the nation's attention here. I want to bring this post from Fox 4 News up on your screen here. This says, opening statements began Thursday in the murder trial of Frisco ISD students Karmelo Anthony after a jury with no black members was finalized following a contested selection process. So we want to bring you here what we know of the latest with this trial, as it will be going on to day 2 today, as opening statements began yesterday morning in the murder trial of the Frisco ISD student accused of fatally stabbing another student at a track.
Right. Yeah. Look at this. You know, this is the nastiness of the white supremacists. This is why they are their own downfall. They use Austin Metcalf's school picture. They use Karmelo Anthony's mugshot. Right. They could have used this image as well. Right. Well, of course not. They're racist. They hate him. They want him to rot in prison. But it's okay. Their own greed of evil is going to possibly be their own doing.
Me. Karmelo Anthony, now 19 years old, faces a murder charge in the death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Police said Anthony...
Listen to just how he frames it.
Faces stabbing another, the murder trial of the Frisco ISD student accused of fatally stabbing another student at a track meet. Karmelo Anthony, now 19 years old, faces a murder charge in the death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
See that? He's like, no, Austin would also be 19, sir, if you were going. So what you should have said is Karmelo Anthony, who was charged and is being tried as an adult at the age of 17. He was charged at 17.
See, this is what I'm talking about the softness. Hit that like button, double tap that screen right now. Hit that like button, double tap that screen right now. Let me tell you something, people. Black, white, Chinese, mixed, Latinos, Haitians, Jamaicans, everybody all around and in between. Listen to me now. Old, young, whatever. You don't get to walk outside, try to bully somebody, start something, create altercation, be the aggressor, become a bully. And then when it don't go right for you and you're bullying, you don't get to run to your race and start crying wolf. You don't get to run home and start telling your people, oh, somebody just beat my ass. What you get to do is go home and tell them, I tried to do this or I tried to start that, but they finished it. You need to stand on that. I'm so tired of you type of people out here that walk outside and talk all that talk to people until somebody check your ass. And then when they check your ass, you want to run to somebody and cry about it like they started it. You never want to stand on it. Stand on that shit. If you out here starting shit and you out here making business and you telling folks, well, to stand on that shit, keep that same energy. Because when somebody hang your ass or leave you for stinking, don't go running to your family talking about defend me and get that man locked up because you gone now. Because your plans and your intent and your premeditated, see, Austin and them was premeditated. They sat there and made decisions as they continue to provoke this man. That's premeditated. Let's go.
As an adult at 17. He's now 19. So they were both 17, but you see what they do. They're trying to make it a 19-year-old young man stabbed a 17-year-old boy.
And then they changing his name. Look at it. They changing his age. They want him to look like a ghetto boy, a stupid boy, try to make him look like he a violent kid with some type of record he don't have. And now y'all talking about he 19 and he 17. When you got this big linebacker from football, 200 and some pounds, both of them the same age, but he bigger, you better get your mind right. Let me tell you something. Oh man, let's go.
We're both 17, and Karmelo was far smaller and, surrounded by people who are being aggressive to him.
Police said Anthony and Metcalf got into an argument over seating in a stadium stands on April 2nd, 2025.
This is not true. They didn't get into an argument over seating. Austin was bullying Karmelo unnecessarily, trying to get him out of the tent to push him back out into the rain. Karmelo was there with a friend and wasn't bothering anyone. Not a single police report. You can read all the arrest reports. Not a single witness stated that this started because Karmelo was being a nuisance, because Karmelo was bothering people. If that's the case, then that would have been stated. Oh, he was getting loud and da-da-da with these people. And that's when
Shout out to Silver Fame with the $2 donation in the super chat. Said, keep up the good work, my boy. Shout out to you, fam. I appreciate you. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, become a member today, family. Let's go.
Just told him to leave. It never starts like that. It all starts with Karmelo was sitting down, possibly talking to his friend, possibly minding his own business, when Austin, a much larger person, took it upon himself to want to bully Karmelo out of the tent for no reason.
Which escalated when Anthony allegedly stabbed Metcalf in the chest with...
Look at that. It escalated when Karmelo stabbed Metcalf in the chest. No, it doesn't. It escalated when Metcalf decided to physically assault Karmelo.
See, this is racist. Let's just call it what it is. This is racist. This man is in there creating a narrative using certain words. Because you got to understand, all it takes is words. One word in, one word out, one crooked word, one right word, one wrong word that determines the truth or a lie. It's just words. He said it escalated when he got stabbed. No, stupid. They provoked him. It escalated when they walked up on him and started putting hands on the boy. Started trying to force him out into the rain. Forcibly, physically, altercation, aggressively, provokingly. Yes, all the leads. That's when it began. So it's little stuff like that, that older white people, other white people, some white people that don't even know. They heard that narrative, that story, and they just take it for what it is. And they don't really have the story, or they don't have the footage. So now you're starting to understand where the racists start to come in, or the corruption. Let's not say racism. Let's say corruption. This is where you start to see corruption. There's a footage, there's a tape, and they never released it. Why? If Karmelo is flat out, period, point blank, black and white, guilty, why can't we see the footage? Because the footage would substitute us having to do all of this dialogue. We would not have to talk this much. Nobody in the chats, in the streams, nobody would have to do it. All we would do is just press play on the footage. You understand? Make it make sense. For those that rock with Austin Metcalf, answer me this. Why didn't you all drop the footage? Type it in the comment box right now. Type it in the comments. Why y'all didn't drop the footage if Karmelo was so guilty? Huh? Type it in the comments right now. If he was so guilty, why y'all didn't drop the footage? Because you know the footage would have made everybody shut the hell up, right? You know the footage. He said you can't read witness testimony. You can't see it. Why you can't see the footage? Tell me why y'all can't see the footage. Oh, there we go, Candy. They said they can't because they altered the footage. Why we can't see the footage? Answer the question with white people. There we go. See, my people in there asking you why we can't see the footage. A little within says alternated. Why we can't see the footage? Fam says you just can't. See, that sounds like one of the white supremacist people right there. He said you just can't. Are you black or you white? Because I'm not making this a black and white thing, but I'm just trying to make it make sense right quick. Why we can't see the footage? And then, oh man, my God, why we can't see the footage? White dude said we waiting to sell it to Netflix. Y'all funny, man.
This is how you get so many people that are misinformed in this situation, right? Oh, they were arguing over a seat and then Karmelo stabbed him with a knife. No, Karmelo was sitting down minding his business when he had to defend himself after being assaulted physically twice. Now, the question is, did Karmelo go too far? I think if there is any room for deliberation, that is the only room for deliberation. But it was self-defense. The moment you put your hands on me and I retaliate, I am acting in self-defense.
Pocket knife. The trial is expected to last approximately 2 weeks. If convicted, Anthony faces a maximum sentence of 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Now, to talk more about this and to break down the latest of the case, we want to bring in Mark Astor, a criminal defense lawyer and former prosecutor, onto the program here. Mark, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So we heard opening statements yesterday. Anthony faces a murder charge and the defense is claiming self-defense. What evidence throughout this trial is going to be crucial, as we've already started to see some testimony yesterday from coaches? Well, what evidence here is going to be crucial for the jury members?
Yeah, well, obviously, first and foremost, I think this is the only defense that, the defense has of self-defense. If you read the police report, it's right there in black and white. They're claiming self-defense. So,
and it was self-defense. Austin was assaulted Karmelo twice.
Obviously, the prosecutor is going to start bringing in eyewitnesses, people who saw this.
I like how he puts that. Oh, this is the only excuse he has. Let me put it like this. If Austin never decided to take it upon himself to assault Karmelo, he'd still be alive. Let's just put it like that. Okay.
People who saw the defendant flee from the scene. So we'll have some of the other students. We might have some of the teachers. We're certainly going to get the law enforcement officers who were on scene. The police report indicates that at least one of them had contact with the defendant. Another one also found the alleged motor weapon. So those are the kinds of things that are going to be brought out. Obviously, if there's some surveillance video, that's going to be coming in too. So that's the state's case. Civilians, law enforcement, any surveillance videos, and probably maybe even somebody from the medical examiner's office to talk about the actual cause of death.
And for a self-defense case, what needs to happen to be able to prove that for self-defense, especially when it escalates to a point where somebody died?
Well, I think from the defense perspective, they're going to have to establish that the force that was used was reasonable under the circumstances. And they're going to have to say, look, our client faced potentially a deadly force or even something where he could be subjected to,
grave bodily harm. That's the other thing that this like to leave out. It's not just, did he think that he was about to die? This is misrepresenting the justification for using lethal force. You don't need to just think, oh, well, maybe he'll only beat me within an inch of my life. No. Okay, if I have if I truly believe that you're about to hurt me in a very significant way, I'm a star athlete, I don't want you to fucking ruin my chances of, I'm talking to colleges, I don't want you to ruin my chances of going to fucking play Division I football, right? A serious injury. This is my senior year, right? A serious injury inflicted upon me because you're being a racist bully. That could fucking fuck me up. I want to protect myself. All right. And you're way too big for me to fight you. So what else am I supposed to do? I'm not saying this is exactly the justification or the argument that will be used. No. I'm just presenting to you that it does not require you have to only think that you're about to literally die. Okay.
Now hit that like button that will tap that screen. Let's get right, let's get real, understand what the deal is right now. For those that didn't tap in, this is a real thing.
Breaking news tonight, a Collin County jury has just sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf at a Frisco track meet. More reaction from the trial and the emotional victim impact statements.
This verdict sends a clear message. Violence like this won't be tolerated in our Collin County community, and we remain committed to protecting our schools and standing with victims and their families.
Strong emotions outside the courtroom all day long as the verdict came down and the sentencing happened. What our crew saw and heard today in McKinney.
Here for you, the news leader, Fox 4.
A Collin County jury sentences Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison for the murder of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet in Frisco. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. This sentencing came just hours after the jury handed down a guilty verdict for murder. The trial began last week, and jurors heard from coaches and high school students who witnessed Metcalf's death. The story also made international headlines, and many people locally have been sharing passionate opinions. Tonight, supporters of both Anthony and Metcalf gathered outside the courthouse, sometimes even yelling at each other. Our crew saw one person appear to be taken into custody earlier this evening before the sentencing came down. And moments ago, prosecutors spoke to the media with the Metcalf family by their side.
Today, justice was served. A year ago, when this senseless murder unfolded, I said that it had struck a deep nerve in Collin County and far beyond. I asked our community to ignore all the noise and instead be level-headed and patient as the process worked. And today, the process delivered accountability. We're grateful to this jury, and we're grateful that the good citizens of Collin County had an opportunity to weigh in on this case. I'm proud of the exceptional work of Bill Werski and our team of prosecutors, DA investigators, and victim advocates, and all the good and outstanding men and women of the Collin County District Attorney's Office. We thank all the parents and their brave kids who did the right thing. Despite the trauma of witnessing the senseless murder at a school track meet, they cooperated fully and testified truthfully. Their courage was essential to securing justice in this case. I'm especially honored to be joined here today by Jeff and Megan Metcalf.
Because to me, this all liars. Because y'all got footage that shows that it don't go and cooperate with you all's document and dialogue. You got other footage that shows that it don't go with the police report, and everything is inconsistent. So no, I don't respect this. I don't get none of this, and I will not stand for this, fam. I don't agree with any of it. I don't care about none of it. If you gotta get a win by using losses, that is false. We say that again for the people in the back. If the only way you can win is by taking losses and use crooked, that is not a win. And this right here is going to make his brother feel it for years to come. See, you all think that his brother is going to be torn because his brother's gone. But he's going to be even more torn that he could have told the truth out of his mouth. And if he'd have told the truth about what happened, he knows that Karmelo Anthony would not be doing 35 to life. But the fact that his brother's not speaking up, That's gonna hunt him. See, you don't get it. You think his brother at nighttime ain't gonna be thinking about putting some little dude in jail for the rest of his life for something he didn't do, or for something he did that was y'all fault? That's the difference, fam. His brother ain't gonna be able to sleep because he gonna know it was his fault that his brother's gone. Ooh, you better hear me today. Let me tell you something about something real. This man right here, his brother, is not gonna get sleep for the whole 35 years because he's gonna know that he is the reason, or he was a part of the reason about why his brother is no longer with them. And he is also the reason why an innocent man is locked up for the reasons that they caused. He did it to his brother. But he knows he is the reason. He knows his brother is the reason for their demise. And let me tell you something else for y'all that think it's really like that. Anthony is going to find himself incarcerated, but they're going to appeal. And because of that jury being all them white folk on that jury, it's going to make that appeal look real different. Because that footage was never released, it's going to make that footage look real different. Because a lot of things was done a certain way real quick and real fast, corruption will be exposed. Because at the end of the day, this wasn't a fair trial. Matter of fact, let me ask y'all. If you believe this is a fair trial, press 1. If you believe this is not a fair trial, press 2. Let me see that. Let me hear that. Let me see that. If you believe this is a fair trial, press 1. If you believe this is not a fair trial, press 2. Huh? If you believe this is a fair trial, press 1. And if you believe this is not, press 2. Wow. I'm going to have to put up a poll for my people in here because I don't got 150 people in here right now. I should have put it up at about 200. But I need to put up that poll. We're going to have to get that popping real quick, real swift, because it's no way is this many people really believe this is fair trial. There's no way y'all believe it's fair. If this was vice versa, and this was black kids, and white dudes came into the tent for some rain, you know we gonna look real bad for assaulting him, and the white dudes just came in for rain. Think about that. If this was vice versa, fam. Yeah, he did it, but I'm just telling you, he did it because they assaulted him. He did it because they created that. He did it because they provoked him. He did it because they were bullying him. Again, for a tent that they don't own, that they didn't buy, and where the video at? On a website that you got to go register for? Talking about video out, dude. Show me where the video at where I could just go see the video right now. Because you know that video got some altercation. You know that video, you had to register to go see that video at some website. So don't talk stupid. Talking about video out, dude. Get your dumb ass up.
Son Hunter. Their strength and grace through this has been Their strength and grace throughout this unimaginable journey has been inspiring.
Man, I like how Fam said that. Fam says, Austin died over rain and a tent that he didn't own. And because he was racist. Your mom and your daddy racist. And now y'all racist and y'all kids. Y'all don't even know nothing. How y'all racist and y'all don't even know nothing? We wasn't living back in them days. Y'all wasn't. Your mamas and your daddies was. So if anybody kids is racist, it's because your mom and your daddy is training your brain to be a racist. Woo woo. You are, let me tell you something, man. There are no ways that kids are racist out here. There's no way. You wasn't around for you to be a racist. You wasn't around to even know what it feel like for you to come against people or to just hate another color for the reasons they had at the time. If anybody are racist, it's because their mamas or daddy are training them to be such. They are giving them history, or they're telling them things about black people, or black people are telling them things about whites that they just dislike. And they want you to dislike them too. I love what then says, self-defense fed up could have been threatening him that they were going to kill him. Who wouldn't bring something to protect them? That was 2 against 1. That's the point I'm making, fam. You got 2 guys in here coming to you telling you to do something that they don't even own. That's automatically letting me know this finna be a 2-on-1 matchup. So he let them kindly know, if y'all touch me, it ain't gonna end well. Oh man, it don't get no realer than that, fam. 2 people are letting me know they about to get on my ass. And I can identify it, and I let them know. Let me tell you something, partner. Y'all want to play with me? I got it on me. Huh? You want to play with me? I got it on me. Yeah, I got it on me. You want to play? Oh, you want to keep jumping? Keep jumping. Jump again. Jump again, mother. It's going to be hopscotch all around. It's going to be double dutch in this mother. Jump again. Oh, no. Wait. No. Which one going to do something? I got to let it go. That's what this is, fam. What we talking about? Which one of y'all want it, dirty? Because I ain't playing with you. I'm in here because of this water, and y'all want to play with me. What? Pull up, do something. It ain't ending right. Come on, dog. Y'all still gonna run up on me and you see me cock that thing? Y'all really think black people soft. See, this how I know his daddy and his mama was gassing them up about black people. Ha! It's in the building. This how I know they mama and they daddy was gassing them up. Because even when fam pulled out the yeah, they still pulled up like, we still gonna punk you. We still gonna provoke you. We still gonna be the aggressors. We still gonna bully you. Fam like, oh, which one of you want? Let me see that. Let me see. Which one want it? Oh, you do. I gotta guarantee you. Because that's what you on with me, fam. I done told you already. Let me go, fam. Leave me alone. And both of y'all want to pull up on me? All right, let's get it popping in here. And my partner over there in the corner. You know what else is funny? See, that's how I know his pot. That's how I know they wasn't no gangsters. See, this how you know Karmelo and his friend were not gangsters, okay? This is how you know they was not rough, tough, or gangsters. If they were some gangsters, Karmelo partner would have got up and got on them. Am I right? If they was on gangsters and they was from the hood, see, they not from the hood. They not from the hood, fam. If Karmelo friend and Karmelo was from the hood, both of them would have got on them. Because his friend would have been like, hold on, partner, what you on, Dirty? No, Dirty, hold on, this my partner. What y'all on? We go to the same school, we in the same track meet, but hold on, Dirty. This my partner, Dirty. What y'all on? What we doing, man? What we doing? See, Karmelo partner didn't even do that. He didn't even say nothing. He let it happen. And in my community, if your partner around and he lets something go down, oh, we gonna get it up later. Karmelo's friend didn't even jump in. Think about it. So this is not two black dudes from the hood on that gangster that I'm on. They ain't on what I'm on. Or they would have been in there beating them up. They all would have got it. They would have been booting up, Dan. Man, listen to me, man. If Karmelo was really on that gangster stuff, him and his partner would have beat up Austin and his brother when they came for the smoke. They would have got that fire. They wanted smoke, they would have got fire. But Karmelo's friend didn't even jump in. So Karmelo in this whole situation by himself, two big white boys, 500 pounds together on his 160 pounds, and he trying to figure it out. What are we talking about, man? I can't believe folk, man. People crazy, man. Oh my God, I can't believe folk. I just can't believe. I just can't believe what fam believe because fam really believe that. That's crazy to me. Let's go.
They won't be taking questions at this time, but their presence here speaks volumes about their commitment to seeking justice for Austin. I want to thank Judge Rhodes for presiding over this trial with fairness and efficiency. I want to thank Frisco PD for their investigation. I want to thank the Collin County Sheriff's Office led by Sheriff Skinner for providing the security for the courthouse. I want to thank all law enforcement throughout the county for making this a safe trial for everyone. This verdict sends a clear message. Violence like this won't be tolerated in our Collin County community, and we remain committed to protecting our schools and standing with victims.
Let me tell you the message that it's sending. Don't play with us. I'm going to just be all the way real with you, fam. That message is saying don't play with us. And that message also saying don't play with nobody at all. Whether you white, black, Hispanic, Italian, Chinese. Don't play with nobody. You understand? That's what this message sends. Don't play with nobody. Don't keep thinking you own the world. You don't and y'all don't own the world. Let me say that again. You don't and y'all don't own the world. And just like Chud the Builder out here walking around playing, he didn't walk into the right one, baby. Keep trying to tell y'all, stop playing. This ain't back in Jim Crow. This ain't back in Red Summer when folk was walking down the street just slaughtering us because they was bored. This ain't that. This a whole new day, Dirty. This a whole new day. You get smacked up real quick. Talking crazy, acting like you own us. This ain't that no more. This ain't that no more. Oh no, this ain't that no more. Come on, Dirty. Oh yeah, Dirty, I hear you, partner. They trying to make it like that again. Trust me. See, this is also a distraction. Because they trying to create wars with this type of situation too. Because this does nothing but just make white on black, black against white. And what's sad is that we came so long and so far for black people and white people to be able to eat together. To be able to stand in the elevator together. Let me say that again. This is bad because this is a distraction to create corruption. This is martial law activity. And I was going to get to that because again, we have come so far, fam. It was a time where black people couldn't do nothing. You know, you got to really understand, we've come a long way. People have died for things, people getting gunned down for things, all because we just wanted a voice. We wanted to go to the same store like you. We want to eat in the same restaurant like you. We want to use the bathroom where you use the bathroom. We want to walk on the same sidewalk. We want to be on the same bus with you. We want to be in the same street with you. We want to be in the same baseball thing with you. Same game with you, same football game with you. Damn it, we with you. We had to go through something for that, Dirty. Y'all ain't have to go through nothing for that. Let's keep it 100. We're going to keep it a stack, a buck, a million. We had to go through something to be right here, right now, to be doing this. What I'm doing right now, my folk had to lose. I had to lose folk just to be able to do this with y'all. No, I don't sound like a fool, Donna. Because you almost sound like you white. And you know what else is sad? Donna Perez. I feel sad about you and your kids. I really do feel bad for you and your kids. Because the fact that you said I just sound like a fool, because I said that black people went through what they went through to be able to have a voice, just to be able to have an opinion. And you calling me a fool? You calling me you got the nerve to call me a fool because I said what we went through to have a voice in the same world that we came up in with y'all. Even an argument that we was here already. It's an argument. But it's just a fact. Y'all didn't go through that. Equal rights, just equal. You can't even run into a tent if it's raining, if it's white people in there that don't like you. Think about that for a second, fam. You can't even run into a tent of white people if they don't like you, even if your friend in there and you know them. That's what this is. And then you got John Balfour said he was a violent animal, and you sound so white or old white. But the good part about how you sound, you don't even know. But let that have been you or your son or your daughter running into a tent of black people. And she or he is told to get out. And if he don't, they walk up on him and they harass him. And he tell them, if y'all do something to me, y'all ain't gonna like it. All the while, his friend, his white friend is sitting there while black people are harassing him to get out the tent, to take his ass back out there with that water. I mean, some of you all really have to put your own families into this situation to really understand what people went through or what this is. And whether it happens all the time, it's just the fact that nobody relates until it's you that's in it. Nobody relates until it's you that's in it. You need to do that. I don't know what that means. People are tired of the violent behavior, boss. And that's what I mean, John Bow. People are tired of this violent behavior, boss. Right. But again, boss, this violent behavior started with, be honest, y'all. Just be honest right quick, whether you white or black. Let's be honest real quick. You know Austin and Hunter started this, right? Sugar Mama, what you say? I ain't heard what you said. Let me know what you said, because there's so many comments going on, my fault. I'm just saying, you know Austin and his brother started this, right? Online says facts. Donna, why is I'm wrong about Austin and Hunter starting this? The man came into the tent for rain. He didn't say nothing to nobody, do nothing to nobody, nothing. He would have been just standing there ducking rain. So how am I wrong? Everybody that's saying wrong, how am I wrong? Who started the aggression and who started the provoking? I'm not looking for no comments that agree with me. The overwhelming comments that say otherwise are not logic at all. The facts of the story is that he walked into he ran into the tent because it was raining, and he said nothing to no one. He was provoked aggressively and told to get out, and from there they came at him. Now, why you dumbass people don't understand that? You continue to hear the story, you continue to hear the police report, and y'all still making up some shit. Still made up some shit. As a matter of fact, he didn't even have a knife. He actually had a tool that releases the cleats or tighten them up. So that was another mistake on the media, trying to make him out to be something. Austin and Hunter started this, and that's why I'm trying to figure out the line being drawn, because they started it. Let's go.
District Attorney, we just heard from Fox 4's Amelia Jones has been outside the courthouse all afternoon and evening, sometimes tense, sometimes quiet. Amelia, what have you been seeing overall?
Hi there, Steve. Well, let's start with when the jury actually got the case. So the jury started deliberations at 10:52 this morning and deliberated through lunch, returning a verdict just before 2 p.m. The jury spent a total of 3 hours deliberating and returned the verdict guilty of murder. I was outside the courthouse when that verdict was returned. You could hear some gasps from the large crowd that had gathered outside, some outcries, and some people simply stayed silent, just processing the information. The jury then headed right into the punishment phase of the trial. They heard from 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony's mom. She was the only one who took the stand in the punishment phase, and she pleaded with the jury for mercy. The jury spent a total of 2 hours and 20 minutes deliberating the sentence. The jury sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison with the eligibility for parole after half the time served, which would be about 17 and a half years, the age of Austin Metcalf when he was killed. When the sentence came down, people swarmed in large...
Now, this is how I know that the judge was doing that on purpose. He gave that man 35 years, and he only has to do 17, which is the same age that Austin was. Is that not him over here saying, yo, he gonna do this like this because of this that was happening, but yet Austin is the one that started that shit? Like, how y'all gonna start that shit, but then we gotta finish that shit? What type of shit is that? Like, how you gonna start something and then somebody else finish it? Like, what are you doing? Like, why y'all so mad that I can't be up under the tent and just not get wet? And then I don't even hear a lot of y'all even saying that part. I just hear y'all talking shit. But ain't nobody saying like, man, dude just could have stayed under the tent and without no rain. I don't hear none of y'all that agree with Austin and them saying that it was okay to be under the tent and get water. And if you not saying it was okay, you racist. Because that means you don't want no black person under your tent while it's raining cats and dogs. Let me say that again. When I'm seeing something that say rain is bullshit, yeah, that's how I know you're a racist. Because you telling me this black man should have stayed out in the rain like he was a cat or a dog, like he was an insect, like he was just nothing. But he's a human being. And that's why he ran up under that tent, because water was falling on his head and his body like other human beings. And just like them other two white boys that was in there, human beings, under tent, out of water, it was deservingly so. But if you think that he shouldn't have been under that tent because of rain and water, then that means you don't look at Karmelo as a human being. You don't see him like you see yourself. Because if it rained on your dumb ass head, you gonna run for cover. You gonna try to hurry up and get in your car, somebody's house, a public building, or somewhere that says, get the water off me. I love what then said. I'm sure a lot was paid off in silence. You know, the crazy part is that Austin dad, let's get to the daddy and the mama. Austin's dad, hit that like button, double tap that screen. You in here with your boy Dealatofficial. This is No Filters. Austin's dad received a GoFundMe that was like a certain amount of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So when you think about that, it's like, okay, well, you received a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe is basically going to fund the trial. It's going to fund the jurors, the crooked jurors that stayed on there. It's going to fund whatever judge that allowed the jurors to just be white. It's going to fund them. Anybody that was in a position to take authority over the corruption of how the case was handled was paid off. See, we've learned how things go now, fam. See, our generation of black people ain't stupid. When we see dumb shit like this, we know it's corruption involved. Let's just keep it a buck. We're not gonna sit there and act retarded. We're not allegedly. That's fine. We can use that word respectfully. But I'm just telling you, like at this point, we know what's up, fam. We're not stupid. Just like when it comes to the elites and those that are in high places, the way they do stuff now, we know if it's done like this or if it's done like XYZ or if it's done like that, we know who's involved. We know who did it, who premeditated on doing it, the way they're doing it, and why. We know now. That is exactly how it works now in the world of colored and whites. We know if corruption is done, if footage is, think about it, if footage is held, only a white jury panel, stories being inconsistent, and the fact that the daddy knows the judge in Texas and the way that they handled this in one sum of how fast that just happened. Corruption is key. That has to be done. It has to be done for him to be done like this. He would have never been done like this by the regular law. Because at the end of the day, certain white people are taught by their ancestors and they're taught by their elders, or they see how their elders treat other races. So it automatically makes you think you know about racism. But you little white boy and you little white girl, you don't know nothing about racism for real. You don't know the meaning of that for real. You don't know, you wasn't around that. Your grandpa, your grandma was. Maybe your aunt and your uncle. But you don't know about that. Because y'all out here rapping our music and saying our music and using the ninja word, and we allowing you to do that. So you got to understand what's happening today. None of you new white people are really racist. And if you are, it's because somebody taught you to be that. Like, you don't know where that came from. You wasn't on that. You don't stem from slavery days. Somebody has to plant that in your mind. You know how many white people out here love black people and black people love white people? And them white people will tell them like, listen, I'm not that. My people was back then because they come from that. But when they say back then, they're talking about over decades. So you got to understand when you're talking about being racist or that, because when we're talking about, I wasn't there as well. I wasn't there. So I'm not racist. I wasn't there. But today's age, if you show racism or if you show bias to a certain race, that creates racism. Okay? You wasn't around when we was getting slavery done to us. So no, you don't come from that. But in today, if you're biased in situations like this, or if you're biased in situations like Chud the Builder, where he's walking around calling people chimps and he's walking around provoking black people to create anger and create to assault him so he can get his gun and unalive them, or get his gun and yell self-defense. He's trying to use the law to provoke and harass black people. So we have to look at people like that and look at people like this and say, yeah, there's a repeat of behavior that says something is going on with the racists. Because black people, it's not a lot of black people just out here walking around, just calling one person, just looking at white people and just provoking white people all day. Like, I don't know what black famous person or what black streamer is just walking around provoking white people and Mexicans and Hispanics and Chinese people all day. Like, coming up, just walking up and just making up something to create something to monetize off of. That's the new racist. That's the new racism. And if that be the case, fam, we're gonna really have to buckle down on shit, because that make it seem like they're forcing racism now. You got a guy that wakes up and just start talking bad to black people everywhere they're at. That's you trying to force racism, or that's you trying to force some type of agenda. To me, you're trying to force an agenda. You have no reason to do it. That's like if somebody called you and say, hey, wake up and just start talking about black people on stream live and make a lot of money about it, and we'll figure out how we go from there. All right. Because that's what he's doing. But what black person is out here waking up just talking about white people all day? None of us. Why? Because we got to get money. Why? Because we've been through a lot, so we got to go make up for a lot. We got to do a lot to keep a lot. I mean, I'm just being real. This is us. This is our situation. We don't have time to wake up and just start talking about one white guy all day and night. We probably did it for Charlie Kirk, but think about it. That's because Charlie Kirk got... So we ain't talking about him just being him. We talking about how he just... by his own people. Let's talk about that. Somebody in here said, so why do black on black crime is talked about, or why is it praised? And we talk about this in the songs because we talk about our habitat, our environment, because we are in a cage. We are in our environment, right? We are not outside of our environment. We are like in the projects, in the hood. We are caged in a certain community, caged in. So we're talking about us because we are all caged in. That's why we're talking about our race like we do. The way we say ninja and talk about this ninja play with me, I'm going to get on him. That's because we all locked in the cage trying to come up. So we're going to rob each other or take from each other or get it how we live, because that's how we live. That's the term that came from Hot Boys back then. Get it how we live. I'm trying to learn you something from a black man. Yeah. So I'm trying to tell you why black on black crime be like it be, or why black on black violence happens. Because we all caged in and we all going after each other. Whoever get it, we take from it because nobody knew who had it or who started with it. So whoever get it, we got to get it too. That's kind of how we've been processed mentally. But that's bad too, because that's a brainwash. Once you break out of that cage, that's why you start to see successful black people in high places, because we've broken out of that mentality that we're caged in and we have to take from each other. We start to think that we need to take from white people, or we need to take from corporate buildings and corporate companies, and how to ensure us how to be entrepreneurs and get companies and start to go after our own on a higher level. That's where you break out of the mind state, okay, of racism and just that, and black on black crime. But again, Charlie Kirk, shot down by a white guy. That's white on white crime, publicly in everybody's face. And none of you all have nothing to say for that. Why? Because that's not reportedly and repeatedly broadcast every day. That's not broadcast in music every day. That's not broadcast, period. See, we broadcast that because we created that. We did that in our cage. That's another thing that happened in the cage. Music recreated, talking about what we go through. And because we go through that with each other, that's what the music we make. So understand why we make this music and why we do this in the manner we do it in, okay? Hit that like button, double tap that screen. It don't matter who he was shot by, stupid. Charlie was shot by effing weird fury on your side. No, he was shot by one of you all's guys. And whoever that picture is that they said was really who he was shot by, that's fine. That's one of you all. Hit that like button, let's go.
Groups and many live streaming reactions of others on their cell phones. Some were very upset, visibly crying and talking about it. Others told me they believe justice was served with that sentence. After the victim impact statements, Karmelo Anthony's family.
And I know you white smacked the donkey. He said, get a load of this guy. See, those are those white sayings we used to get back in the day. And this ain't nothing against my white people, because my white folk I rock with, my people. Lord, we already know in the building, they're my folk. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not racist. I'm just trying to change. I'm just trying to get you to see the point of view of what I'm talking about in this situation. But we're not going to let this situation create corruption. But when you come in talking about get a load of this guy, a load of this guy is letting you know the position of us and what's happened in our lives and the way we've had to come up and do things. So it's not about trying to give you a Black History moment. But what I am trying to get you to understand is that you all started that. Not you all, but Austin and his brother provoked him. They started that. And that could have been handled 1,000 different ways. Karmelo was at peace, and he was trying to get out the rain. So at the end of the day, we're not going to make that man look like he is a monster. We're not going to make Karmelo look like he was nothing but a defense. And the way he handled that is the way he felt he had to, because two white guys at 500 pounds are provoking and threatening and bullying him to get out of a tent that's not owned by neither one of them, while his friend sits in the corner and watches this conflict happen. And if that was vice versa, whoo, I can hear the stories now. See, that's what I'm saying. Not all white people, but a lot of white people, they never have, they're not satisfied. It's like they want their cake, eat it too, and some more, and some more, and some more. And that's privilege. It's not okay to be white privilege in a land where we all have to be here equally. It's not okay for you all to go do what you all want, but we can just be over here doing what we have to. That's not okay. That's not how we living, fam. We'll never go back to that shit again in our life, where y'all can do y'all, but we can't do shit. That ain't how it's popping, my nigga. That ain't how we rolling. We will not be living like that. And to be honest with you, Black people don't even want to live like that. We don't want an all-white jury, and we don't want an all-Black jury. You know how sad that sounds? And we the ones that went through slavery, and we the ones that still saying we don't want an all-Black jury. We want equilibrium. We want justice. We want right and wrong. We want fairness. We want to exist together. And that's sad that this white person just says, cry harder. So when I see stuff like that from a white person commenting in my comment box in my house about crying and cry harder, that lets me know you all are racist. And that lets me know that you all don't want to be together. And you all don't want to be equilibrium. So you know what, you soft ass motherfuckers? You almost made me say something for real. But I'm gonna sit that right there. While y'all starting shit, we're gonna keep finishing shit. Since y'all want to say I'm crying, soft ass. Since y'all start shit, we finish shit. So keep talking about I'm crying. Because I'm over here trying to tell y'all we don't want no smoke. But if it's smoke, we'll put it out. If it's fire, nigga, we'll put it out. I'm over here trying to talk to you and tell you we want peace. We want love. Shit, we finished this, didn't we? Hold up, Rad News Network. We finished this, didn't we? Hold up, partner, talking about y'all don't finish nothing. We finished this, didn't we, partner? We finished this, didn't we, partner? I'm over here trying to tell y'all, see, we ain't big, bad, and bold. See, we ain't tough at all. We just get to the business. So we ain't got to walk around and do all this and that. We want peace. We want love. We want commitment, community. We want to exist together. We don't want no smoke, because we'll push shit out real quick, partner. What you talking about? Y'all the ones walking around with the soft shit, starting something that you can't finish, and then when you can't finish it, you want to run to the police. See, that's what y'all do. Y'all start something, can't finish it, then you run to the police to protect you. Been doing that for ages. Been doing that for the longest. Stop, bro. Stop. You started, finish it, man. Stop running to the authorities. Stop running to the police. Stop. If it was like that, they would have handled that right there and it would have been done. So stop. Because we know who ain't dancing today, right? Talking about dance, monkey dance, but we know who not dancing no more, right? Watch your mouth, fool. Keep talking that shit to me, I'm gonna bring it right back, partner. Watch your mouth. Talking about dance, monkey dance. You right, chimp out on them, right? But we know who ain't chimping out no more, ain't it? Right. Watch your mouth. You want to call us animals, but y'all sure be on our music. Y'all sure rock with us. And this ain't for all my white folk. See, my white people that rock with me, I rock with y'all. I love y'all. Y'all love me. I rock with y'all. But you got ignorant folk in here that want to sit there and defend ignorance. We have to identify ignorance. He ain't crying. He's just speaking up. But see, if it was vice versa, white people would be crying. And black people would be looking at y'all like, oh, okay, y'all just want justice. But y'all don't get it because can't nobody speak like this or talk up. Man, it's a new day. This is a new living. This is a new day and a new life. We will not have it. And we ain't even trying to bring it. We just want to get out the rain.
Including his parents, walked out of the courtroom and into their cars. A large group of people and media swarming them as they made their way to their vehicles. There were some very strong words of emotions exchanged. We saw Anthony's mom hold up a heart in the window as well. Then, just about 15 minutes ago, we saw the Metcalf family leave the courthouse. Emotions still running high from those who were here in the parking lot. Sheriff deputies helped them to their car. Now it's just media that's left as the Collin County Sheriff's Office is working to clear the parking lot. And again, media was allowed to stay here. A lot to digest as this very long day wraps up. For now, though, Steve, I will send it back to you.
That's Amelia Jones reporting.
Hold up. Homie said IBC ain't even got no name. IBC 281 said, so why didn't Karmelo Anthony throw hands then, huh? Because it was two men. Stupid. You wouldn't throw hands. Soft ass motherfucker. You in there talking shit, but you wouldn't throw hands either. Two black boys in your face, bigger than you, 500 pounds, and you 160, little white boy. You would be running across the field. So don't do that. Don't do that. That's why Karmelo didn't throw hands. You got two big white boys in there ready for him.
McKinney Amelia, thank you. So Fox 4's Lori Brown has been our only reporter inside the courtroom all day for the...
He didn't run because that man, a black man, standing on business. Why would he run? Think about it. Think about it. Them white boys told, two white boys that about 500 pounds together told this little 160 pound to get out. He said, no, dirty, I ain't going nowhere. So who really soft? Who really running? The man didn't even run. Two boys that equal 500 pounds came at him and he ain't even run. And then you know what else is funny? When he figured out after Austin was trying to get tough with him, when he figured out that both of them was finna get on him, he said, hey, I'm finna make a decision as a man. As a black man in this world, I'm about to make a decision right now in my mind. I got two men finna come at me, and I gotta make it up in my mind how I'm finna handle them. Okay, cool. Let me let y'all know something. Since y'all want to threaten me and tell me to get out this tent, if y'all do something to me, it's gonna be the worst day of your life. Now tell me that's soft. Tell me that's weak. Tell me he needed everybody. Tell me he needed a village. That man didn't need nobody. He stood on business by himself, knowing that the opposition was finna come against him. He stood on business. So why would he run? Why would he run? You asked me why he ran, why he didn't. He didn't run because he wasn't scared, stupid. See, a lot of y'all in there talking, but you got to answer your own questions. Why didn't he run? Because he wasn't scared. Next question.
Dramatic moments. She heard the emotional victim impact statements. Lawyer, we're counting on you to tell us how all of that was for you today and tonight.
Steve, the emotion of this full trial really finally was able to be released.
Okay, now we got some talking going. Angel baby 68 says chicken shit. That's how I know she saw, because she's saying chicken shit. See, people that say chicken shit, she ain't never smacked nobody in her life. She ain't never beat up nobody in her life. You ain't never hustled in your life. You don't even know what it is to survive on your own. Shut up. A lot of you all are so privileged, y'all don't even know nothing. You so weak because you have it your way. See, the world works your way. That's why you can call me chicken shit, because you know you could do nothing. See, I've been through something. I know how to survive. So because of that, I will always be better than you, because you're going to always need your parents, or you're going to always need the system to survive. I don't need the system to survive. See, we went through something when the system was against us, and we still survived. You should pat me on the back right now. You hear me? Matter of fact, you should pat black people on the back right now because of what I'm saying. The system was against us, and we survived because we still here. And we got a lot of y'all that want to be like us. So think about it for a second. Who really lost? We learned how to survive. We went through slavery, and we're still here now. So you can call me chicken shit because you can't do nothing. That's the point. So that lets me know further you're mad because I'm making points that's saying black people have nothing against white people. But yet we have history about what we've been through. And because of that, we will never forget those things. But yet that don't keep us from making a future with y'all. That don't keep us from creating a future with y'all, because we all have to be here together. So we have no smoke because we've already been through the fire. Let me say that again. We have no smoke because we already been through the fire. That's why we lay back and chill. But we ready whenever you are. And we ready to get down when you ready to get down. Get down. We so ready for 1, 2, or 3 of you. So you got to understand, fam, don't get it twisted. We praying for Karmelo. We praying he don't even see that, because vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Let's get right today. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So everything that is crooked will be made straight. Everything that is wicked will be exposed. Because at the end of the day, God got Karmelo. So we can't talk like that. I just wanted you to know that you can't call me chicken shit because we survived. We still here. Shout out to Mickey, man. Shout out to everybody that's in there. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let me know where you're from so we can tap in with you. Let me know where you're from right now. Tap in right now. Let me know where you're from. Type where you from. You talking all that shit. Type where you from right now. Since you got balls. The little chicken shit. Since you got balls, type where you from right now. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let's get it together right now. Because we about to wrap this up right now. I want people to understand what's going on in the world. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let me know where you at. Let me know where you from right now. Oh, we got Big Bad. We got Big Bad Rad News Network from Detroit in the building. We got Detroit in the building. We got Detroit in the building. Like, he can't be touched all the way in Detroit. DW. Where y'all at? DMV? What you call it? DMV? You know the DMV. Yeah, we got the DMV in the building talking all that talk. We got Flint, Michigan in here with the dirty water. Okay, Thomas Blake said Flint, Michigan, the most racist place. Okay, he black. What's up, partner? Let me know where you stand. Shout out to you. Shout out to my white people in the building. Fam says Gina Duke is in New York in the building. Shout out to New York in the building. Twin Cities, man. I see you, Minnesota in the building. Let me know where you're from. Connecticut here. Queen Shay in the building. Where you at, Queen Shay? Been in the building. I appreciate you pulling up. Who made the IQ test? I heard you, fam. Let me know where you from. You ain't scared. Be real. Stand on business. Alaska in the building. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. I'm so interested to speak with you all daily as we pull up here in No Filters. I'm so interested. Let me know where you're from. I want to know where you're from. Fam said, go wash that rug on your head. Wayne, that ain't enough. That ain't enough, Wayne. Fam said, no, I'm on Earth. He don't even want to tell me where he from. He's scared. I'm from Africa. What's up, Mr. Sauce in the building from Africa? Yeah, those that's talking big, bad, dirty, let me know where you from, man. Fam said, but for real, though, no hate to any race. Shout out to you, Tusk, says no hate to any race. I ain't got no hate to any race at all. It really do. Fam said it needs to stop. It do, because, again, we all got to be here. We all live here. Nobody's bigger than nobody. Let me say that again. No race is bigger than any other one. We all are human. We all are here. You understand what I'm saying? No race is bigger than the other. And I hate that black people race was put down. We was degraded, but then yet we rise, and then people want to be like us. But it's like, y'all want to be like our style, but y'all don't want to be like what we went through. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Y'all want to be like our style, but y'all don't want to be like what we went through. And to be our style, you have to go through what we went through. If you can't understand what we went through, you won't understand our style. So even if you like our style gives us pinpointed understanding and spotlight our personalities, our cries, our tears, our wins, our losses, our achievements. That is our style. That is what we've been through. And you will never mock or understand or see or feel or even be if you ain't went through what we went through. And when I say we, my lineage. And I thank God that I can speak and say my lineage. As always, fam, you know what the level is and what it ain't and what it's going to be. Each and every Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock p.m. right here with your boy Dilla T. You know what it is. If it walk like a, talk like a, you know what it's doing. We're here to inform, understand, and be aware. That's what we're doing each and every night. As always, family, I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in, turning up, understanding what's going on and what ain't. As always, I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate your respect. I appreciate your time. And I truly appreciate your comments. As always, family, understand right here at No Filters, we just want to bring light to darkness. We want to read the headline, and then we want to read in between the lines so we can understand what's really being done and what's really being said. We want to know if it's a distraction or if it's an attraction for us to understand where we need to be and where we need to end up at. As always, family, I truly appreciate you giving me your time, you and your family, from wherever you're tuning in at, whether it's on the tablet, on the TV, on your phone, or just on your computer. I truly appreciate you clicking on fam tonight. Understanding that at the end of the day, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, truly make sure you get comfortable. Never forget to get you something to eat, something to drink, something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title. Ha ha! You in here with your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters. Lock your doors, family. Be safe. God bless.